All right, today or this morning we're gonna go with Diligent Denison space. This is his profile at Diligent Denison. He had one last night. I caught the end of it, and the end of it was really fucking interesting. Let's let's check out and see how this is.
All right, welcome everybody. What is up, you guys? Do me a favor, bottom right corner, comment section. Please repost the space. Algorithm's been treating me very kind of weird. I don't know. My engagement's good, but visibility's down. I never can figure out what Elon's doing with the algo stuff. But all I know is that if you go down to the bottom right corner and repost the space, it helps boost it up in the feed, and it's much appreciated. I am here in Orem, Utah, just a few minutes away from UVU. That's Utah Valley University, and I spent all day there at the university, kind of walking around, getting to know the area and the environment. I had a police officer. I have to say, the hottest police officer come up and talk to me today. She was like a 9, dude. She looked just like, what's that Transformers girl? Anybody? Megan Fox. Oh my god, dude! She was like a more natural looking Megan Fox, right? I was going around the side because I'm trying to find the stairwell. I'm trying to figure out how the hell Tyler Robinson got up on this roof without getting spotted. And I'm gonna post the video here in a minute. Dude, you know what I mean? Like, how this kid, 150 pounds, soaking wet, wearing skinny jeans, backpack, and a 30-06 rifle, right? And tools. Let's not forget his screwdriver, phone, etc., right? How he got up on this position at the university without getting spotted, man. I mean, it is a very open layout, right? The walkway, the only way to get to where he was at, which is not hard, right? There's a fence up there now, but if there wasn't a fence up there, I mean, anybody could just walk to where that spot is on the roof and get to where it was at. So there's no problem for him to actually access that area. The problem would be to do it without being seen or without looking conspicuous, right? And then they have him over, the stairwell where they took a photograph of him in the parking lot area, right? Which is west of the Losi Center. It does not join like the Losi Center at a higher elevation. You know what I mean? So like, you can get through other parts of the school through there, but I mean, it's kind of useless to go up where he went, right? Like, I don't understand why. Like, the only reason you would go up there is if you wanted to get photographed. That's the only thing I can think. Because there are cameras at every turn up that stairwell. But I mean, like, logistically, right? I could not find why you would go up there unless you were like trying to look around, maybe, right? So if you went up there and tried to scope it out a little bit, fine. But you can't really see anything from that vantage point. I will share. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is, during this space, I'll share a couple of the walkthrough videos that I did. But Saturday, there is going to be less people there, and I am going to host a video space, and I will just walk the entire grounds, right? I'll hit every angle. Anybody has, like, if somebody's like, hey, can you look at this? If I'm in that area, I'll stay in an area until we want to get all of the vantage points that we want to get, and then I'll move to another area. And now that I have kind of like a general idea of what the school looks like and how it's configured, I should be able to do that no problem today. Or no problem on Saturday. I have the guy who uploaded what I think is probably the best quality user uploaded video. It's 4K. It's 60 FPS. And it's that side angle. Crowdsource the Truth posted it, and he kind of like did a slow mo edit of it, and it was really good. And you can really kind of see the behavior of some of the Charlie Kirk staff, which got a lot of attention over the last week. Doesn't make any sense, but there will be uh, so, sorry, the guy who uploaded that video when he's meeting me Saturday. He was standing right there to Charlie Kirk's right, maybe 10, 15 feet away. So he was like right there at the railing and got a really good view of what occurred that day. Another thing, he is a general contractor, and his company does work at that school, and he knows some of the other contractors, and he says that he think the conspiracy about how fast they did the work at UVU is kind of bullshit, and he said that he would go into the conspiracy theories. I'm sorry, he would go into that with us. So should be pretty interesting to do that Saturday again. I tell you what, man, I walked around that school so much, not in the areas where you would think, right? Because I'm looking for other vantage points. I'm looking for other accessible areas to the roof, which there is a shit ton of ways to get on all the different roofs up there, right? Like, if you were wanting to and you had ulterior motives, you could get at many different elevations around that day, and some of them without being spotted at all. Like, there's some really sus looking ladders, and they're behind bushes, and it's just really crazy, to be honest with you, the configuration of that place. But once you're on the roofs, man, because it's all on a hill, right? If the further north you go, the higher elevation you are, and the buildings where the students are at these different elevations, and they're constantly going in and out of these buildings and up and down all of these stairwells and walkways. Like, to get through there, with a hobbling leg, and not be caught, right, is, I don't know, man. It's really difficult. Even the cop today, the really hot one, if she's there again, I might holler at her if she's there Saturday. I mean, she was that good looking, and she even hung out for a minute. She's like, what she's like, are you doing a show or something? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. So what do you do? And I do like podcasts, and I'm on Twitter. And she's like, oh, really? How many followers you got? And then once I showed her my profile, she hung out for a little bit and talked to me. So I don't know if that might be clout chasing, or she might be interested in Old Diligent. We'll see. But anyways,
are you a famous influencer now?
I didn't say that. You use those words. I didn't use that words. I said journalist. I showed her my press credentials, right, and then I showed her the photos of the stairwell. And whenever someone says influencer, we always know they're talking about Noxie anyways. So I showed
I'm the one walking around flashing my press credentials.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get kicked out of school, right? So I want to show that I have business there. So anyways, I asked her, I mean, am I good? Right? Am I causing trouble? They're like, well, we just noticed you're canvassing the area in a wide scope, so we want to make sure you're okay, which I get, right? Given the circumstances. So anyways, I showed her the picture of the stairwell, and I'm like, I couldn't find the stairwell, right? I found a lock stairwell that was on the side of the building, and it has no, I couldn't imagine it's used for anything other than service or maybe a fire escape stairwell, right? That's inside. But even I was like, she's like, I don't recognize that stairwell. She's like, it might be that one that's locked up, but she's like, why would it be unlocked on that day? And so I was like, yeah, I know. And then so I'm looking at Grok, and I'm looking at the news reports, and it's showing that he was photoed in the stairwell on the north side, the north parking lot stairwell, which has like a little tunnel that you can go through, and then you can walk through a tunnel to get to it, and then you can go up the stairs. But like you can access. There's like a third level access walkway or skyway you can get across the building. But I mean, you're walking at that point, you're walking by students. You know what I mean? Like you're walking by staff and security. And let me just say this: the Losi building. I mean, across from the Losi building, there's the police station. Like the police station is visible from where he supposedly took the shot. I mean, visible, the windows, right? Like any of the police officers could have looked out while they're drinking their coffee, looked out the window and seen a guy prone on the fucking roof. You know what I mean? Like it's that close. So obviously he was there. You know, I saw the videos. I took a video, where there's that side one and it says the auto center, right? Like there's like an auto center video. I found where that was and I stood right in that spot and then looked at it from that angle. I got from pretty much every angle I could to see the line of sight from where that is. There is a line of sight from that ledge to Charlie Kirk. Like that's a fact because I stood right in the center of that. But there's also a line of sight pretty much almost all the way around that whole area. If you are up high enough on any one of those surrounding buildings, you can see the bottom of that amphitheater. So, bottom right corner, please repost the space. Noxie, did you see the video of the stairwell? What'd you think? Yeah, there's just no way, dude. There's no way I could have skinny jeans on. And I was at my family members. He is a gun enthusiast. He had like 330-06. He's like, we'll snap one and a half, blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, there's no fucking way you're shoving this down. Pardon my language, you guys. I'm sorry. There's no way that you are shoving this down your pant leg and walking anywhere without it being completely obvious. Can you do it? Yes. But is it going to look conspicuous as hell? Obviously. There's no way that you're doing it and remaining inconspicuous, right? So, yeah. Anyways, let's go to, please, bottom right corner, repost the space. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything that you want me to look into while I'm here, I planned on being here anywhere from 7 to 14 days, depending on what's going on. The court cases all got moved to January, so there's not going to be anything with that. However, I did sign up for visitation at the jail. I'm waiting to see if that gets approved. If it does, I'm going to try to talk to George Zinn. I'm also going to go I found one of his.
Hey, I just want to point out real quick for my YouTube viewers here. This is a recorded space by Denison. He's the one out there doing this work. If you go on X, you can follow him. I don't think he has a YouTube channel or nothing like that, or not. He doesn't that I know of. He's never plugged one. I stream these spaces because people don't know about all these journalists out here, these citizen journalists doing this work, and I'm just trying to get their information out there more.
Friend of the family's. I'm going to go talk to him, and then I'm also going to go to Washington, which is at the southern part of Utah. I'm going to do that on whenever I leave here. That's where I'm going next, and I'm going to go canvass the neighborhood around where Tyler Robinson is from, and try to talk to some of his neighbors and his family's neighbors. So that's where I'm at. Go ahead.
I think that it's really awesome that you're there. I love this game plan that you have. I'm really excited for the information that you're going to hopefully find out. I'm curious though. So, it's always different looking from our perspective whenever we're looking at things on a video. But now that you've been there and you're seeing it, in real life, has your perspective changed even more of how unlikely this could be?
Oh, it's increased my skepticism of the official narrative by a ton. Just, I also did a walkthrough of the. I walked the entire area where they say he ran from. Like I stood in that spot where he jumped down, and then I retraced his steps across out over the hill and out across the street, away from the school, into those woods, and then to where the chicken coop was, supposedly where he tossed the guns, right, which is just off the side of the road, right? Like it's just like if he threw it there was no effort into getting rid of it. Like there is, or no effort into concealing it because it's visible from the road. You could walk alongside the road and just look down to your right, and if there was a gun laying behind that chicken coop, you would see it plain as day because you can see all back there. So it just none of it makes any sense. I mean, the gun caliber doesn't make sense. How it got in and out doesn't make sense. Could that have been somebody? Could that have been the shooter? It could have. Just some of the things that they're saying to us aren't really adding up. So I don't know. I noticed that we have 300 people in here and 50 reposts. You guys, do me a favor, please. Support what I'm doing and go down there and repost the space.
Yeah, and if you want to support what I'm doing on the YouTube channel, you could hit the like button and throw a comment in the live chat or something like that. It helps the algorithm, helps people see it more.
What's up, Blake, man? What are you thinking?
Intelligent, man. Hats off to you, brother, for...
I don't know where the hell that came from, Quentin. It just, I think because I was on Diligence video, it skipped, it goes
like hobble-legged. I'm just trying
like once it's done playing, it just scrolls for you and goes to another video. I don't know what the hell that was. I was like, what the damn hell? But yeah, sorry.
Man, showing this initiative. First and foremost, I hope you are safe. I know you are. And just watch your six, man. But that is so awesome. Doing the jailhouse interviews. I really, really hope that you're able to get that approved.
Oh my God, make me throw up.
I know you won't be able to video it, but man, the perspective.
So check this out. So the jailhouse interviews are video only.
Gotcha. So
he's literally, God is my judge, he's literally going out to the site and doing an investigation, and you're talking about trying to solve a crime from your couch. How about you fucking pay attention, retard?
So if they approve it and I get a jailhouse video, I'm gonna screen share it to a video space.
Yeah. Okay. So they do. They I can't talk tonight. They do it through an app, so you can be remote. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Holy cow.
Yeah, but you have to go through, you have to submit your ID and go through all, you have to jump through some hoops to get approved. They do a background check and all this shit.
Yep, for sure. Man, okay, so my wheels are spinning. If you could do any sort of acoustic test, and I know you're not going to be able to fire a gun from
Hell no. I'm not doing any kind of acoustic test there, bro. No way.
Okay, well, man, if I ever, when Texas Tech plays basketball up there, I'm going to go with two big ass bricks, or not bricks, but wood 2x4s, and just slam them and hear what the acoustics have me just so weirded out. But no, I agree. You do not need to rock the boat.
Just walking around up there got him wondering what the hell I was up to, right? So I was I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, man, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for doing this, and I'm sure some stuff will come up here as we go on in this space, but I'll pass the mic off for now.
Yeah, and thank you for all the work that you've done as well. Sorry that there's been a lot of drama as a result, man. I've been trying to push down, all of this infighting and tearing each other down as people are just trying to get to the truth is not productive. Doesn't matter who's doing it or for whatever their perceived reason is, it's not justified. You know what I mean?
And Diligent, like I see there's one person in here that and I would love for them to come up, but literally this one person, they continually are asking, like, why am I looking at people in the crowd to ask for video, like running interference? And basically it's like, why are you asking these questions of trying to get original video?
This is who's talking
And
right now.
it floors me because I'm like, I want to ask them, where are you living? Because it is as muddy of water as it's ever been today on this date in this investigation and beyond within our federal government. And I don't even know what's going on with the state government, or, I mean, you really don't hear much about the state of Utah and their investigation, even though they're the point people on it.
Yeah, are they even doing an investigation anymore? Like, you know,
I really do not know. But quite frankly, those are the things. Aside from my wife feeling safe, that's the most important thing. And I'm like, you know, she's strapped now. She 24/7. I'm like, she's like, no, you have to keep doing this, right? Like, this is so important, and you have to keep doing it. So aside from all of that craziness that went down, I think it's been dialed down, thank goodness. But man, we're all on the same team. Like, literally. Like, yeah, we have some team captains. There's people that have bigger accounts and they're able to go do more, like yourself. And then you've got these smaller accounts that are doing their own things, but we're all on the same team. Like, just because you don't discover something first doesn't mean you have to go to the ends of the world to discredit someone, or like say that content's fake. I mean, that was the biggest detriment, was the UVU reviews footage and people like Zeb Boykin going out on his platform saying, because he couldn't verify it on 4 Snapchats, that he had it 24 frames, that my footage that I got from students was doctored. And that did so much harm early on because it discredited an actual video that we probably will never see. Because the UVU review, they have that file and it's 11 minutes and 15 minutes long, or 15 seconds long. And I'm not going to tell you to go. I would love to go to the UVU review and ask.
I'll go ask them. I'll go ask them while I'm here.
Her name is Angela.
Worst thing they can do is tell me no.
Yeah, ask them. Like, and Diligent, ask them how they look themselves in the mirror in the morning doing journalism and not do journalism. That's what I want to know. Because this is so wrong on so many levels. The cover up that's going on, even at the damn university level, it's sickening. And man, it's going to take someone with some stones to go there and ask the questions, the tough questions.
I think I'm gonna. Today I just kind of checked it out. I think, let me see. I think what I'll do is on my way back.
When he says today, this was yesterday. He had this space. You can see right there. It says 10 hours ago, 5.8K tuned in. This is a recorded space. It's on X. I've showed you a bunch of times, but I don't want anybody thinking that I'm trying to steal this guy's work. He's doing really great work. He's the one out there with boots on the ground. It's Diligent Denison. So he's going out there today when he says tomorrow.
Through. So I have to go back north. On my way back through, when I have no more days here, then I'll go through and I'll ask the tough questions of the staff. That way I'm not burning any bridges while I'm here. I don't want to, I want them to let me to remain on the ground.
What's going on is Diligent Denison is out there on the site doing an investigation, and he's updating us on our findings. We've been streaming for 24 minutes. You can go back and rewind and hear what he said so far. That's what's going on.
But I promise I'll ask. I will ask UVU. And then I also want to talk to, if I can, the police who were here. You know what I mean? Like, I want to ask the police chief, why he didn't secure the scene. you know, like, why did he allow civilians to move evidence? Why did he shut that microphone off? You know, why was he behaving so bizarrely? You know, like, that's I have so many questions. So I do, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. I just gotta get in the proper moment, and I'm glad that I'm here now, because, like, even the police officer, God bless her, super hot soul, that even she, you know, she was like, well, you know, did you just want to come right away or what? And I was like, I want to wait until I'm the only one here, and there's no, you know, there's not a bunch of hubbub, and people are chill. That's when I want to go. So, but yeah, Blake, thank you, man, and I will go ask. I didn't know that about I didn't think about the UVU review. I will definitely go.
I will send you a DM with every single
Obviously,
just thing that you need to know pregame to go in and execute just to tell them exactly what you know and ask them if you can have it. So I'll send it to you, brother.
I will. Oh yeah, thank you. Let's go, Timmy. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? What's called? I had a question as far as, like, what's your welcoming at the university? Because I know you like to fly under the radar at times, but, like, I was kind of thinking that there might be kids that just want to talk to you. That after the Candace Owens podcast or other things like that, they might have a set of balls to maybe break that 3,000 person one, and then it sounded like this would be a little too much, but I was almost thinking, like, dude, just buy a folding table and literally just say, I'm not satisfied with the answers I got yet, and just sit there like Charlie would.
I actually thought about that myself, because there was a free speech booth set up as I walked to the main entrance today, and I was like, God, it would be so much easier just to stand right in the middle of them, or sit in the middle of them with a booth and be like, no one believes this bullshit. If you were here, come tell me your story, right? And I'll have to look and see what the permitting or what the law is here on that, but it did cross my mind. So, but outside of that, I talked to I was trying to, like, not come off as pressed today. I was really just kind of walking around and getting a feel for everything. I did talk to a couple of students who were in line at Chick-fil-A. I went there for lunch, which is right there above. I mean, the restaurants, the courtyard, or the food court is right there across from where Charlie Kirk was shot. I mean, like, right there. And so
he was like a sitting duck almost, right? Like, right there, I heard it was a horrible location.
Yeah, I mean, for a sniper, yeah. I mean, he's at a low elevation, so you can be
speak truth without fear, Michael. Oh Lord, I messed it up. 26, 22. Sorry, those spaces glitch out sometimes. I'll get us back.
Our action all and dropped it for me on the northern border.
I was trying to, like, get there above
a location.
Yeah, I mean, for a sniper, yeah. I mean, he's at a low elevation, so you can be every building around him is at a higher elevation, which gives you you know, more of a shot. But it is staggered the way the layers are, and so the bottom of if they're like stairs, right? The edge of the riser below you can obstruct your line of sight.
I caught the tail end of this space last night. This is why I'm streaming it. That I know I caught, like, the last maybe hour of the space, and the last hour is freaking phenomenal conversation. Like, some really high level freaking just smart people talking and deciphering ideas. So if nothing else, y'all come back. I'm gonna stream this whole thing. It's like 3 hours long. Come back and listen to the last, like, hour. That shit is, after it's streamed, that shit is so badass. I know y'all ain't gonna stick around the whole time.
to, the bottom of the amphitheater. So you have to be in a position where that's not actually blocking you. So I think we'll know more when I fly my drone on Saturday. I'm going to do a video space. What I'll do is I'll hold the control, which has a 4K screen on it. I'll hold that in front of my hosting device, and that way you guys can see the video clearly. And we'll tour around. I have like a really nice drone and 3 batteries, so I'll find any vantage point that anybody wants. And I checked UVU doesn't have any say over the airspace. They don't control the airspace above them. So I am legal to fly a drone in the air on that day as long as I'm not on campus with it. So I'll step off campus and then we'll fly it around the school, check it out, check out the vantage points, and then go from there. But I do plan on talking to more students. Maybe tomorrow I might do that, or tomorrow I was actually going to go check out the hospitals, because there's 2 hospitals that aren't far from here. One is the one that Charlie Kirk was allegedly taken to, and then there's another one that I want to go to, which is where George Zinn was taken, and there was staff there that George Zinn told that he was paid to distract, that somebody had paid him to distract when Charlie Kirk was shot. So, like, it doesn't surprise me that he was hit with child porn, right? Like, it doesn't surprise me at all, because that's a way to shut him up and leverage him. And you guys remember when I was covering Epstein, someone came up in my space and said, they will inject child porn on your fucking hard drive or in your phone or one of your devices. You'll wake up one day and they'll be raiding your house. And next thing you know, you're like, I don't know how they got there. I don't do that. It doesn't surprise me at all that they would do some shit like that. And it was like icing on the cake when I heard that about him. I'm like, oh, he just randomly happens to have child porn on his phone. Oh, that's fucking convenient, right? That's real fucking convenient.
Galaxy, nature is racist, okay? Bluebirds don't fly with red birds. They kill each other. They fight over territory and fight to the death. Nature is racist.
Because that keeps him more isolated. It keeps him more restricted when it comes to access. We'll see, though. I'm going to push the visitation, see if I can't talk to him. But I also want to canvass I'm going to canvass like all of his neighbors. I spent some time before I came down here doing people searches on almost everybody involved in this case. So I'm going to go door knocking, right? And see, I'm going to go shake the trees and see if we can't drop some apples, see what comes down.
Check to see if there's a young people's in AA or anything like that too, because those people will probably be in the little mental health hookups and or other things too, and a little bit closer to some of the shit like whatnot. Yeah, I would look at some of those too. You can maybe find some useful nuggets there. And it's not bad if you go afterwards and do fellowship. You're not technically poaching in my I'm sober, so I'm like sitting there thinking
I'm
like
sober too, bro.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, yeah, I started off in the young people.
Going on 10 years.
All right, man. I'm on 21.
Good job, boys.
I'm an old man.
Good job, both of you.
Well, it's too expensive. Lawyers want so much fucking money. You can't have fun and fucking drink without lawyers. Sorry. All right.
So, yeah, those are good ideas. You know what was interesting is the LDS and the Mormon factor keeps coming into all of this. Like, a lot of Charlie Kirk staff members were Mormon, right? The ones who were there that day, the ones who were acting so strangely Mormon, okay? And then, so the Lucy Center, on one side of it, on the east side of it, there is the computer science building, which also has a crazy view, right? And then on the opposite side, closest, and the same side that Tyler would have had allegedly came from is the Mormon Center. It's right there. And it has its own parking garage and its own access. It's like away from everything else. And it also is connected to the Losi Center at a lower level. So, like, I don't know, man. It just keeps coming in my radar. I'm going to look more into that building and what involves with it.
Is it university property, or is it a completely separate standalone Mormon thing? The only reason why I'm asking is if it's attached to the university, you can get all the contact info is on the website for every single person. You got to do a little digging, but the whole staff directory, contacts, and emails and phone numbers.
I'm going to look at the picture. It's, here we go. It's the Utah Valley Institute of Religion. And then on the outside of the building, on a plaque, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Institute of Religion. So it has two different signs on the building. The one says Utah Valley Institute of Religion, and then on the outside, on the bricks, it says the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Institute of Religion. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look more into it because I just thought it was interesting. They have their own wing. I mean, it's like a whole building right there next to the Losi Center. And let's see. Yeah, I will start posting these while I'm hosting the space, and I'll throw them on the Jumbotron so you guys can see. Go ahead, Hobbs, and then we'll go to Hope.
Hey, thanks, Diligent. Yeah, anybody in here who isn't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to Diligent because he's got, he's on the road doing this content for us. He's got subscriber-only after spaces and a subscriber-only group chat, so you're missing out if you're not paying that $5 a month, first of all. So Diligent, one thing, and then I've got a couple questions about the campus from what you've seen so far. But I first have to ask if you considered maybe breaking the law so that you could get that officer's badge number and potentially last name and maybe get her to put you in some handcuffs for a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little too much more than I'm willing to do in a mainstream space. I'm not going to go there. No, that's too much.
All right, well, be careful that she's not honeypotting you because she sounds, Megan Fox looking cop in Utah. Right there when you show up, I'd just be a little suspect.
I was told ahead of time that all of the women were good looking here, Hobbs. You were the one that said it.
So I was actually going to ask, have my words rang true outside of this really hot cop?
What happened?
Yo, dude.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm not here on that kind of business. What's up, Anthony, brother?
Hey, what's up, my man? I just want to give you a huge shout out, bro. You deserve a lot more credit than people give you for staying laser fucking focused, objective, and unbiased. And I've never heard you ask anybody for a nickel. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's a lot of you guys on here. And if you are this guy, literally 100% independent, packing up his shit, driving across the country, I think we all can muster up $20-25 right now as a collective group right now and shoot them over to him. That is going to help him stay focused, maybe stay an extra day. It's going to help him with his gas, guys. Everybody loves to tune in, but a lot of people aren't really cooperating. I'd like for all of you guys to match me on $25. Everybody that's on this live space right now, let's help this man out. He's out there busting his ass. One of the very few real independent journalists out there knocking on doors, like he said earlier, shaking the tree. Kudos to you, brother. I support you, and I hope people
Remigration now, baby. That's what we want.
match me $25 on directly to your Cash App.
Oh man, thanks for the shout out, brother. I appreciate that. I don't like to come up here and shield me, man. You come up here and shield me. Thank you so much. And if you guys don't know, Anthony is also an independent journalist working the northern border that's completely going undetected in many ways. Anthony, where are you at? What are you doing?
I actually just left New Hampshire, covered New Hampshire, Vermont, up to Maine. We are putting a documentary together. It's going to be like a 15-20 minute doc with a follow-up series. And we're just going to explain to everybody how this is happening, the stuff that I discovered and uncovered on this trip. We were all suspecting it, but we can pretty much confirm with what we're going to be putting out here in the next couple of days. Thank you for that. And yes, the borders is being exploited, guys, and nobody wants to talk about the northern border. So we're up here applying our skills that we've learned from the southern border the last 9 years. Now on the northern side, we've already...
Nobody gives a shit about being called a racist no more. For all y'all retards in here talking about people being racist, nobody cares, bro. Racist, you're a bigot, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, you're all... Nobody cares about your bullshit name calling no more. Fuck off.
Cartel members, stash houses. It's going to be a good little docu-series, so I appreciate that, D.
Are they still trafficking people? Are they, what's going on? Like, how bad is it?
So 100%, since there is absolutely no barrier or there is absolutely nothing stopping people from coming across, I was able to identify multiple houses that are 15 feet, like let's say it's your front door neighbor and it's just living right across the street. Well, that's Canada. Tracking breach points, and I was successful at finding them, and I even found that are out there in the middle of nowhere with pathways or established trails of so much foot traffic coming from Canada into the United States, dude, right up to their freaking front door. It's just unbelievable. People are out there driving without license plates, and it's the same car. It's almost like they took a stash house from the southern border, just picked it up, trash and all, and dropped it for me on the northern border. The vehicles that were out there didn't match the double wide trailer with broken windows and aluminum foil window covers. And then all of a sudden you got like a brand new Escalade out there, out in the middle of nowhere. Bunch of trash outside, lots of clothes hanging on the lines. So all of those are major red flags, and those are signs of potential stash homes out there. And we were able to find several of those spots that we're going to be showcasing here in the next couple of weeks once we work on editing and putting it all together.
That just sounds so crazy to me, because that has been the main focus of why ICE is all over the country and the National Guard is all over the country. And yet we still have the border open. Like, make it...
If y'all think this shit is left versus right, y'all are retarded, okay? Stop thinking in terms of left versus right. That is a means of control for the elites to use against the peasants, us little people out here in the population. Y'all, if you still believe that nonsense, y'all are retarded. We all have to find common ground and come together and realize what the actual problem is. Oh, you're racist, you're anti-Semitic, all this fucking bullshit name calling. It's so faking gay. They want us fighting amongst ourselves, bro. Just wake up. Look and see that our government is involved in a cover-up of a political figure who was outspoken against a war with Iran, bro. Come on, man. Wake up, people.
It's wide open. So just like everything else, the cartel evolves and they adjust accordingly. If they're having a hard time on the southern border, they've evolved and now they are doing it directly from the northern border. We've got to remember, people are still arriving into Mexico. Mexico is part of the global compact of migration. So is Canada. So if they cannot enforce their way into the United States from the southern border, or they don't have the money to pay to go into these underground tunnels, then they are going to fly up and over the United States from Mexico, because they are both of these countries are part of that global compact of migration. So amongst the countries that belong to the global compact of migration, there's basically no borders, no walls, and you're able to just travel these countries freely. And so that is what's currently happening right now. People are just flying right up and over the U.S. And there are actual ATV and four-wheel off-road trails that are being utilized right now and exploited by these criminal organizations out there. It's bonkers. We don't have the manpower. The only way for us to secure that border is occupying it. You can put as much sensors as you want, but if you don't have the manpower, all you're gonna see is the shadows or the individuals and classify them as gotaways. The numbers that we are receiving of the apprehensions are simply numbers of the few that were actually apprehended. That is just a drop in the bucket compared to the people that are actually coming across. The forest up there is so dense, and it's just so widely open that to catch people is just so vastly open. It would be hard to catch people because at any given time, anywhere across that border, you can cross illegally. And I even went down to multiple streams and small little rivers. All of the evidence is there. I found women's feminine hygiene products thrown on the floor, and I documented all of that. It's just, it's happening, guys. If you think that our northern border is not being overrun, I got a beach site for you in Arizona ready to go.
Like, you would think that we could put that National Guard that's being deployed all over the country and put them on our borders and protect the interior.
We have,
yeah, or instead of sending an Armada down to fucking Venezuela, how about we protect our own fucking borders? That would be nice.
basically scarce to none technology on the northern border. I specifically went out there with a goal to try to trigger some of these sensors. I walked up and down the banks of the rivers and the ravines that are out there. I might or might have not crossed into Canada multiple times to see if I set off some sensors. I was out there for over 6, and absolutely nobody came out to see what was going on. There is a lack of manpower and technology on the northern border.
I think you should put a sombrero on and do it again. See if that changes anything.
I might bring you up with me here on the next trip up here, bro. That'd be great.
I'm gonna be. Well, I won't share it in the space right now, but I have some interesting plans. Yep. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for all you do, man. If you guys don't know, I did a video. I went on a tour of the southern border. Anthony was our guide, and the guy knows his crap, man. He really knows his stuff. There's a lot of horrible things that happen at our borders. Regardless of your politics, I think we can all agree that child trafficking and human trafficking are just horrible.
Can we at least get all get on the same page about that and bring down these freaking elite pedophiles that are trafficking children? Can y'all see y'all through the left and right bullshit of that shouldn't be a political issue? That shouldn't be a left versus right issue. That should be a humanity issue, and we should all be fighting for justice for these people. I mean, come on, guys.
You actually joined me at it's actually the biggest organ trafficking corridor in the country. And when we were out, I knew the FBI was investigating all of those spots. So absolutely.
100%. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks for
do me a favor, you guys. We have 400 people in here, 90 reposts. Go down there and repost the space. Thank you very much. Let's go to Jeremy. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Diligent? Hey, I know I put it in the comments, but I was just saying, hey, while you're there, maybe, and I don't know if it'd be too triggering to you or anything like that, but I doubt it. You've been pretty clean, but is hit the bar scene. Definitely take a look. You never know what you can find out in there, especially the people who are talking. I mean, that's like James O'Keefe hits the people when they're starting to drink, and so people are to loosen up. And I don't know your Facebook game or your Instagram game or anything like that, but maybe even post maybe an ad or something while you're there. Kind of thinking outside the box, and definitely see if you want to meet and greet somebody who might wants to talk. And so that might be a way, especially for instance.
Yeah, I got bad vibes about Erica too. I hate to say it. Nobody wants to talk about a grieving widow if she really is that. Nobody wants to talk about that shit. Everybody wants to give a grieving widow time to grieve and their heart goes out for them. But she just, man, I'm getting really janky vibes from her, just like I am from all the people at Turning Point that are just going along with this bullshit narrative that a 30-06 shot Charlie Kirk and his bones of steel stopped it. Give me a freaking break.
Instagram and stuff. So
yeah, I already
that was
have
kind of my.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, and I can be around people drinking. I'm good, but I just I have some. I do have some leads, and I have some people who have already talked to me. One of them deactivated his account, though, I think from the backlash of all the craziness, what Blake was talking about earlier. But there is I'm meeting a guy Saturday, and he's linked me up with a few other people who are there. So I do have some. I have some stuff cooking. Yep, I have some stuff cooking, and I'm going to. It just depends on how much time I have. Tomorrow and Saturday, I have Sunday as well. I'm just gonna kind of like play it by ear. Maybe Sunday I'll do some more canvassing. I don't want to get anybody in trouble for breaking any gag order, right? It's a push and pull, right? Like I am legally within my right to do interviews with people on the record. If it's all on the record, then you're not having anybody break a gag order because on the record is admissible in court, right? So, but if you have leaks and you like share information that was leaked without it being on the record, that's when you kind of get into murky waters. But there's always a push and pull between the justice system and the First Amendment. And I'm on the First Amendment side, so.
Well, I mean, there's also Halloween tomorrow, but, you know, the bars thing, too, people loosen up, you know, all those things go out the window. And, you know, as you being sober and watching.
Hey, girls finally said something I agree with. Fuck gag orders. Oh, sorry for my language. Gag orders are... oh, y'all don't like the R word, retarded, but they are. That's what they are.
You know. So that's all I was just thinking. And people might loosen up and let it loose. So you never know.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, man. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
Real quick, Diligent, sorry to talk over that, but what about even like a Bumble or a Hinge profile that just said looking for stuff?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't. No. I'm good. I'm good on all that. I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it though. Plenty of leads out here. Plenty of leads. Yeah. Last thing I need is people dragging me for my double D Hinge profile out there. I'm like I don't even know.
I just said go that far.
Let's go to Hope. Go ahead, Hope.
I ain't deleted none of your comments. Key. Oh, Lord.
I mean, that's really going undercover, right? That's taking one for the team. Undercover.
Oh, sorry, my mic was off. Diligent, thank you so much for the space. I really appreciate all the work that you're doing. And it just is so impressive that someone is actually digging in and doing the work that we all want and need to have done. I did just need to say something briefly, but really strongly about, I think it was Tim that made a suggestion to go to AA meetings and see if you could find out anything there. Well, there's a couple of hundred people on this space. And I'm in recovery, and I sponsor a lot of people. And I think that even the thought of going into an AA meeting to get information is predatory and completely against what AA is.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anyways. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I didn't think.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mute you. That was Noxie.
Oh.
Noxie, oh man. I'm sorry, Hope. That was Noxie.
What happens is whenever the request button comes
We don't want to hear your. We don't want to hear your.
You tried to mute me again. You just tried to mute me. So whenever the request button comes up and you get it before I do and I'm going for it, then it disappears and the mute button pops up. And so that's why that always happens.
Okay. Yep. It's my fault. It's my fault she muted you. All right. Go ahead, Hope.
Oh, that was just what I wanted to say, because there's got to be at least.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going.
But it's really, and I just
I'm not going to the bar, and I'm not going to recovery to look for to troll for information. I'm not getting on a dating app. Yep, we're good.
Okay.
If I don't think it's necessary. I can literally just go stand in the food court and tell people what I'm there for and just strike up conversations and ask. That's what I usually do. And every time I go on the ground, I talk to the hotel concierge. I talk to the store workers. I talk to the restaurant workers. I'll just talk to people. I'll just walk up and start talking to them. I'm good at it, and I have no problem doing it. And I don't need to go in any specific environment to do it. I do get what Timmy was talking about there, though, where you have a rapport with people already, right? But yeah. All right, let's go to O'Carl. Thanks, Hope.
Hey, what's going on, man? I just wanted to ask, no spoiler alerts or anything, but this guy I actually had a little back and forth with on Instagram. His name's Jeb Jacoby. Do you know who that guy is? Were you on socials?
Jeb Jacoby.
The guy, he's
Isn't
pretty...
that the guy that was the brute force guy that
No, he was the guy that was gonna talk and then got quiet.
was gonna talk. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he seems to be pretty open. I guess he went on 60 Minutes, and he also seems pretty interconnected with that whole thing. And I was trying to get that guy's name Cooper out of him when I was talking. He went back and forth and just didn't give his name. He told me he didn't work for TPUSA, but I don't know. Maybe that guy's he might be open to having to talk.
In the live chat, Key, hey bro, you might need to lay off the pot a little bit, bro, just a little bit, just back off just a hair.
Because it seems like he knows. He was in that picture with everybody. Phil Lyman, he was right next to Charlie, the white hat guy, the guy with the white.
He's the one, Jeb. He is the one that the guy came in and grabbed up and shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing the interview.
Yeah,
exactly. I know he is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I ask. I don't know. So
yeah, I found him on X, but he doesn't have his DMs open, and I don't know how to reach out. Maybe Noxie with her influencer status can get up on Instagram and try to reach out to him on our behalf.
Yeah, it was Instagram. That's where he responded.
No, my Instagram is my real life. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why he responded to me, because it's my real profile. And I was just like, hey, man. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you should reach out to him and have him reach out to Billy.
If you responded to you, then...
We're talking about Charlie Kirk today, but the conversation evolves and changes. It moves. This is a group conversation. It's a public conversation. And so other things get brought up. And, it goes to the juice question and all that stuff. Everything evolves. I know I caught the last hour of this last night when it was live, and the conversation was so good I had to stream this shit. I know y'all probably ain't gonna stick around that long, but if you come back after the stream and listen to the last hour of this thing, holy crap, they were talking. I went to bed with such a huge white pill and feeling so good about things, which I needed. Anyway, I'll get back to this.
Give him my information on Twitter, and he has an account, and he was active in October. So, all right, cool. see if he'll shoot me a message, tell him I'm following him.
All right, you gave me the green light. I'll see if he's open to it.
Fuck yeah, 100%. I'll meet as many people as I can.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be interesting, because he seems like he might be willing to talk, and
I'll talk to anybody, bro.
He had a pretty close view. Sounds like.
Yeah, the guy at the meeting Saturday. I mean, he was right. Like he was like standing as close as you can get, really. So he's the one that had the original video, I think, that got super conspiracy theoried out, right?
Yep, we're the crazy ones that are sitting here doing an actual investigation. Do you believe, vintage, that Kirk was shot from whatever 150 yards or whatever it was with a 30-06, 250 feet or whatever it was with a 30-06? If you believe that, you've never done a day of hunting in your life.
Right, with the way the behavior of Charlie Kirk's security staff, like the guy twitching his arm and all the other crazy stuff. So
it's not a hard shot, vintage. It's impossible. The wound that he had is impossible. His hit. Go look at there's a million videos on YouTube. Zeb Boykin just did one a couple days ago. That where he went out and shot a pig, right? And the wounds do not match up. It was a subsonic round that hit him. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be a good one too. And then I'm also seeing if I can't line up maybe one or two other people to meet me there that day. It's supposed to be decent weather, so I'm gonna get up in the morning, get set up, and then I'll walk around I'll canvas the whole place.
Hey, one more for you. You thought about maybe talking to somebody that's like in Utah native, maybe even like a supporter of Charlie Kirk or whatever, that's really has really high knowledge of guns and ballistics and all that, and just kind of see what they thought about it. Because Colonel's saying, man. I've hunted. I haven't necessarily took down a deer with that gun, but I've shot the gun, and I don't know. It's just I just cannot defy my own common sense that that type of a rifle was the one that took that shot. Because it's just
No, we want our government to stop lying to us. 77 million people voted for Trump on transparency, bro. We wanted transparency, and yet they're the same FBI. They're doing the same shit the Biden administration did. They're fucking lying and gaslighting us constantly, and we're tired of the bullshit, bro. That's the thing. They're lying to all of us. It's not left versus right. It's none of that bullshit. We're tired of being lied to by our government that's supposed to be working for us.
When people that start gaining some knowledge about it, it's one of those common sense things. It just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the 30-06, the entry hole makes sense, but there would be an exit hole, and it would be like fist size or more out of the back. Like it would nearly
put him on his back. It would have put him on his back.
It would have like removed a large portion of his neck. You know what I mean? Like it would have removed a whole swath of flesh from his neck. That's the softest. It's one of the softest parts of your body, so that you can be flexible enough to move your head around various directions, right? 180 degrees almost. So
yeah, at that spot on his neck with that high velocity of a round, you're absolutely right. Yeah. It would have just totally taken out a huge chunk, and he would have fallen backwards. I mean, because it was more center. It was just off center. Just the force. If you saw the force of whatever, that force direction is going.
Bro, Trump literally lit shit on fire in the White House the other day on that whatever that Diwali bullshit was. That is so. I could not believe that Trump was doing a pagan freaking ritual in our White House. That it disgusts me.
It's going one way, and so if that's the story, right? So then he would go backwards. It's just physics.
Yeah, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. So it'd be interesting to see what happens when we finally get the Emory report. I guess during the trial, I guess they're holding all of that stuff until the trial, which isn't going to be until next year now, right? Like even the preliminary hearing that was scheduled for this morning. That's actually why I came this week, because that was supposed to be this morning, and Monday when I had already left, they rescheduled it. So, which wasn't a big deal because I knew it was just a preliminary hearing. It wasn't going to be like a major hearing, but still, that's why I decided to pick this week to come over here, because it was going to be kind of the beginning of his trial. And the cool thing is that when the trial does start, I have somewhere not too well. I mean, it's not close, but I could be in the region, right? And if I need to, like, come over here and stay long enough to kind of cover it. And I'm meeting people that have like that are in the area as well. I can link up with to kind of network in this area too, because I definitely want to cover the trial when it happens. And I still, I can't believe that there are so many people on the left and the right, right? Like, I had a poll go viral. I can't remember what it was the other day, and it was like 80%. Like every time I do a poll on this, 80 to 90% of thousands of people do not fucking believe the government narrative about Charlie Kirk. They don't believe it. And so if that's the case, right, then why hasn't somebody stepped up to offer Tyler Robinson?
Boy, if y'all do some research into what Key was just talking about, that's a wild rabbit hole, buddy.
Better defense, right? A better attorney, a private attorney at the very least. Because right now, if the government's lying to us, they control all aspects of this case. They control both sides. There's a court-appointed attorney on one side the government controls, and there's a court-appointed prosecutor on the other side the government controls.
Plink is in here throwing out straw men like they're going out of style. I mean this is the basis of their argument. I mean, come on, bro, we're here doing serious research, and they're like freaking talking about mole people and crap. What the hell?
Freshly, newly installed judge, not an elected judge, but an appointed judge by the governor, who I don't trust here, right? Who seems like he's deep state. So, I find it incredibly hard to believe that, after all of this time, nobody has, we had like all of those key fundraisers for like Carmelo Anthony, right? And then there was like another one for the guy in New York who was on the conservative side that killed somebody. And they all raised like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for defense spending. And I just find it incredibly hard to believe that nobody is like stepping up to challenge the government narrative on that note, and if they are, because a lawyer can't, an attorney can't solicit to a client.
Jay's in here talking crap about Americans, but he's spending his time in here listening to Americans speak. Good job, buddy.
However, somebody can purchase an attorney and then offer the services to a client, a potential client. And the way that it's done here is through the public defender. So, you see what I mean? The public defender has to go to Tyler Robinson and be like, hey, look, another private attorney has been fundraised for you, and would you, are you interested in having private representation? Legally, they have to. Constitutionally, they have to allow him to get a private attorney if he wants one. And I'm just kind of curious, even if somebody did offer him a private attorney, is the defense going to relay that message? Is he really going to get it? We have no idea. We didn't even see him. He wasn't even on camera on Monday. And then his boyfriend or his roommate, whatever it is, we don't even know if it's his boyfriend. I'll just say roommate. Lance Twiggs is missing, right? I'm going to go by his parents' house this next week. And so I'm really kind of do a lot of door knocking over the next week. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to harass anybody or anything like that. So if people don't want to be, if they want to be left alone, then I'm going to leave them alone. But I'm going to, as much as I can, I'm going to talk to as many people as I can, of course, without breaking the law. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Did you say you were going to see Lance Twiggs's parents?
I didn't say that. I just said that I'm going to go check it out.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. Can you get to where their apartment was?
I'm gonna go check it all out.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, Diligent. So that's been like the one thing that just absolutely drives me batshit crazy on this whole thing is where are Tyler's family and friends, right? Like something does not make a lick of sense when it comes to just the radio silence across the board. I mean, like, it's hard to say how you would react in a situation with a child facing the death penalty, but it is like, it's wild that we have not heard a thing out of anybody. Like, and Tyler existed in a life, right? Like, I remember when it broke, I went on Facebook and I just screen recorded his mom's entire page. And she was deleting, or somebody was scrubbing her Facebook as I was doing it. But because my phone had already loaded her entire page, I was able just to continue to screen record. But like, as I was clicking on photos, it was like, where I wanted to get into the actual photo itself, it was like, photos not available. This kid had a life, like from young. I mean, they went on family vacations by every just conceivable optic out there. Like that they were a normal family. Something does not make sense. And I cannot wait for you to go south and hit up Washington, St. George area and find out more about them, because I guarantee you there's family or probably more likely a lot of friends that can speak to the family. Because, I mean, let's face it, this is strong LDS communities, LDS state. Like, it's not like you're trying to find a kid and his family in the Bronx or something, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to find him. No, you're like, these people run deep. Their friends and their families do. So, man, that's what I'm most looking forward to, is like just something that is of Tyler that is after September the 10th that we can, examine. So I can't wait for that, man.
Yeah, 100%. That's the part of the trip I'm looking forward to the most, is canvassing their hometown and their neighborhoods and really getting down there into the nitty gritty. And if anybody has any leads in that regard, and it's been hard, I've already done I do have leads myself on people to try to contact. But if anybody has anybody in the area or knows those areas and those neighborhoods, feel free to, my DMs are open 100%. Yeah, but Blake, I'm with you, bro. That's why I decided to go down there. It's all the way at the very southern tip of the state. It's almost to Arizona. It's like right there on the Arizona border. It's down south.
Yep. And then my last thing is, were you talking about Ryan Simmons on the dude that scrubbed his profile?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yep.
Yep. Something weird with him. I shot you a DM. I don't really understand it, but check that later too. I just wanted to check on that.
Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you. What's up, Pops?
Hey, Diligent. When you were at the campus today, did you have a chance to go down to where that Terrell Farnsworth guy recorded Charlie being carried out from?
In that video that's pinned in my profile, you can see, when I look back, you can see that area, but I didn't go back there really yet today. I was going to wait until Saturday.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really curious about is just to get your own like firsthand kind of account of how difficult it was.
You want me to climb up there and do a selfie? Yeah, I want to reenact it.
Yeah, please do one of those like old school crime series reenactments for us. Act it out. Maybe even try to memorize the speech that he was giving when he was putting on that little performance that came out the other day of like, oh my God, he's dead. And just I'm curious about that. But also on that stairwell that you were on earlier that he went up with the gun tucked in his pants. Was there any kind of roof access, like doors or anything in that area that was even relevant for him to go in that area?
Wait, what?
Like at the stairwell that he was apparently photoed in that you were looking at earlier that said it's like impossible to go up this with a gun tucked down the leg of your pants. In that area, when you reach the top of that stairwell, is there any kind of like maintenance or roof access doors in that area that like
there is so on the far side there is a roof access area, but it doesn't connect to where they say the fight. Like that's like that logistics. I would like it doesn't make sense to me unless there is a lower level sky bridge, which I didn't see one, right? That connects to because there's this campus drive that separates the parking lot buildings in that area from the other side of the Losi Center and the LDS building are, right? And there's no like connecting walkway that's visible. So like it didn't make sense to me why he would go up the parking lot stairway where he was photographed, right? Like there is no logistical reason that I could see of why he would go up there, right? So and that like I asked that hot cop and she said I've never seen those stairs before. She's like there's this there, there's this there, there's this there, but none of them have white rails, right? The only one that had white rails was the parking lot stairway. And then I got there, I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is definitely it. It's narrow. It's narrower than the other stairway. It's also got the cameras on every level, which are juxtaposed right where they would need to be. So I mean, obviously that was where it was at. So I climbed up the 5 floors. There's 5 stories of parking lot. I climbed up to the top. I walked over to the edge of the building, closest to where Charlie Kirk was shot. The only thing, the Losi Center is visible, but it's way far away from the Losi Center. Now there's another indoor parking lot next door to the Losi Center that's part of that Mormon or LDS building, and they're the same, right? When I say Church of Latter-day Saints and Mormon are the same. So, but it says Latter-day Saints on the side of the building. There's also a parking lot and some ways that go up that way, but I didn't really explore all that. So, but yeah, the parking lot structure, it just didn't make sense. And I was able to find the photo of him going up the stairs, right? That's where I was at. And then there's another photo of him like kind of going down this tunnel looking thing with a little pony wall, cement pony wall next to him. I tried to find that as well. I did find one in the tunnels, but it didn't match that photo. So maybe we can find that on Saturday. But yeah, the parking lot still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, the only thing I could think of why you'd go up there is to get caught on photo. Unless you were parked in the garage, right? Like, okay, if he's parked in the garage, then yeah, he goes up the stairs. That makes sense. Because there's an elevator, but it's on the far side of the parking lot. So, like, maybe it's just easier to go up the stairs. And the access to the stairwell, there's, like, a tunnel that gets in there. And there's also a, that goes under the street. So you can kind of, like, take a back way into that. So, like, maybe that's why. Okay, now that I think about it, maybe that's it. There was, like, a tunnel you can get there from the street and go under the street. And get there. I don't know. I'll have to check that out again Saturday as well. But like to go up the stairs that he went, like you would still have to go above ground level to get photographed. Like the camera is on the ground level floor, like second floor. So you would have to go up to get pictured by that camera. Like, I cannot think of a logical reason of why you would walk by those cameras or up those stairs unless you wanted to get photographed. But I definitely could not do it with a 30-06 rifle. Is a big rifle, right? Even if you broke it in half, well, they don't break clean in half. The connecting parts protrude past the halfway mark about 10 to 15%, right? The way they lock together. So it's not like it just snaps right in half down the middle. Whenever you break a gun down, past the halfway point, the stock and barrel, there is a little bit of mechanics that go beyond the halfway point. So if he breaks that gun down in half, even if he's got the barrel, there's no way he's keeping his knees straight when he's going up those stairs. And they said that video. Remember, they showed the video of him walking down the street with a supposed gimpy leg, right? There's no way he's walking up those stairs like that. There's just no way. There's no way. I did it. There's just no way. 150 pounds, soaking wet. He's got skinny jeans on. Dude's built like a twig, and he's got this gun in his pants, and he's walking upstairs with it, and it doesn't look obvious to anybody. Like, I don't know, bro. It's really weird. Really, really, really weird. Thanks, Hobbs. Good history.
Hey, Diligent, were there cameras on every level of the stairwell?
Yep.
So why, and they're video cameras, correct?
They appear to be.
Okay, so why did we, and I asked you this before, why did we get just a half-ass picture if he really was walking up the stairs with a 30-06, if they wanted to prove their point, would they have not shown him actually walking so they could prove their point?
I don't know. I can't speak to that. I don't know. And what's interesting is the camera that they showed the video from is further away than there's a closer camera up high, closer to the Losi building.
That Plinka's from Mumbai,
where he took the shot and ran from, supposedly. There's a camera on the adjacent building, right on the corner, and it is far closer and lower, or closer to the level of the Losi building than the one that they used to send the video out when they were trying to ID him. They used a camera that was further out and therefore had a worse resolution. So I don't know why they chose to use the images and videos that they did, because logistically you would want one that's closer, because you're going to have a better resolution and be able to identify the subject a lot easier, as opposed to one that's at a higher vantage and further back. Now, if you were trying to see more of a field of view, then it would make sense to why you would want to use a higher vantage point as far as a camera goes. But there's a secondary camera that had enough of a high vantage point where you would be able to see him, unless he ran in front of that triangle part of the Losi building, which is in the center of the roof that he was on. If you ran in front of that, which it appears that he may have, right? Maybe you want to try to see past that, but you're not, because it's not that high. So I don't understand why they used the footage that they did, because if there's obviously cameras in places where you can get a better vantage point and have a higher definition image to give to the public when they're, okay, if you want to keep it for your trial, fine. But the suspect was at large for 33 hours, right? So why would you not put out an image that gives you a better definition of what he looks like so that people can ID him? That doesn't make any sense. You're going to use the worst, the lesser resolution and the worst camera angles. That doesn't make any sense to me. History.
Well, you're getting close. I'm just kidding. You know that's because if it's grainy, then it just plugs their narrative. So,
well, it's opaque, right?
Yes,
it's opaque,
of course. So my other question was, timing wise, could you see from where you were? Because I know you went up the stairs and stuff, and you didn't go on the roof, correct?
You can't go on the roof. They have
you can't go on the roof.
But you definitely could have before. I mean, there was no. There's a walkway that has there's a walkway that goes out of the building, the computer science building, to the top of the Losi Center, and there was nothing. There's literally nothing there between the pathway for students and the roof to where Charlie Kirk was supposedly shot from. They put a fence up there, and they have one of those blue surveillance police units, those blue flashing light. You know what I'm talking about? They have the cameras on them. They have one of those behind it. It says no trespassing. So you can't get up there.
Okay, because I was just wondering about, like, if you could
I'll post the video right now. What it looks like.
Since you're there and you could see it, like, timing, I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, from the time that he was shot, for him to be able to change his clothes and run across, like, I'm just thinking timing, like, would it be possible in the amount of time that he wouldn't be seen if he had to change his clothes and run across the roof and jump? Like, just looking at Vanity.
What exactly is techno mumbo jumbo? I'm not familiar with that descriptive device.
Points and timing, like how nobody could not have seen him. That's
the part about nobody seeing him. That's where I can't get past, right? Like the walkway to get to that, I'm the reason why I was looking so hard for the stairway, and this is what I told the very fine police lady, is that I was like, I'm trying to figure out how the hell he got up on this roof undetected. How did he do that? Because it is wide open. I mean, the area to get to that part of the roof is wide open. Wide open. When I mean wide open, I mean it's surrounded by buildings that have.
Hey Plinka, how much are you getting paid to shit post in my feed right now?
Students in them and with big windows, and you can see if they're and all of the buildings on a tiered level. So if there's a row of buildings on one level, those all have windows and hallways where there are windows, and you can see.
I do all my shit posting for free too, so I get it.
Over to the next adjacent building and up on the roof, right? Because it's all around the same levels. So, how he avoided being seen from the tunnel and the stairway and across the street, and then I went up where he would have had to have gone. This is when the cops stopped me. I walked around the entire Losi building and all of the adjacent buildings to it to try to see how somebody could get up there, all the different ways that somebody could be able to get up there. This is why the cops were like, why are you walking around everywhere canvassing so far? And I'm like, I'm trying to see how the hell this dude got up here without being seen. And she's like, I don't know. She couldn't figure it out. But I was like, it would be incredibly difficult. I mean, obviously, if we're to believe those cameras, or that one that they sent us where he doesn't have a shadow on the roof, whatever that is about, and that's where he got shot from. They had to have gone up there undetected. But man, how he did that today. So I'm there. It's 2 months afterwards. Life has returned to normal at this campus, right? The hubbub of their daily lives, you would never be able to tell unless you didn't know right? If you went there and you didn't know who Charlie Kirk was, you didn't know about the murder, if I was touring that school today, I would have had no idea that somebody was assassinated there. No idea. Okay, they weren't talking about it, other than maybe people sitting around the courtyard down there, like at the edge of where they have it fenced off. But the day-to-day, they have returned to their normal day-to-day. And
I don't know how to pronounce your name, Dolan. Yeah, that was an exit wound that we seen, or possibly it could be an entry wound, but it would be from like a bigger round, a third, like a blackout, a subsonic round. It still, it looks so, it has to be an exit wound, bro. I mean, that's what I think. I know Candace said, oh, she knows it came in from the front or whatever. I don't know. That completely disproves the 30-06 from far away theory, though.
It's busy. You know what I mean? That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, it's busy. I can only imagine what it would be like with a big event happening in the center of the school, in the center courtyard, how much busier it would be, right? People coming and going. Like, for him to get through there undetected is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. I know Bricksuit. Oh, go ahead, Jerry. I see you coming off mic.
Hi there, Dee. First
Diligent,
of all, I want to say,
not DD, diligent.
Okay, diligent. Okay.
Plinka, wasn't you the one crying about me saying retard earlier? The whole hypocritical much?
So I've got quite a bit of experience in this sort of thing, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing, especially to be able to have somebody on the ground looking through the crime scene and all of that. And I also really appreciate that you guys are focused on, details, anomalies, and so forth, rather than these, wild speculation and whatnot. But one of the things that has been on my mind and bothering me, because I followed this thing in detail since seconds after this was reported, is do you guys have access to, because I haven't been able to get it.
Let's take a poll in the live chat real quick. Is Plinka Jewish?
Back. I haven't been able to find it again and then download it. But the 8K video that was taken from the back angle from Charlie's right, and it was the real high definition video. Do you guys have access to that, or have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen that high definition video. That's okay. The guy. That's the guy who's meeting me there Saturday. The guy who took
get a hold of that and hang on to it, because I'll tell you, there's one thing
I
that
have a copy of
really. Oh, awesome! So there's a guy that I haven't heard anybody talk about, and he comes from, and maybe it's been talked about, but I've followed a lot, but I just haven't heard anybody discuss it or look into this. But there's a guy. He comes out of the, on Charlie's left side, and he's got a t-shirt. It's kind of a grayish t-shirt. It's not fully white, but he walks back over by Mikey. Okay. He walks back in that direction. And then do you remember the guy that walks out to adjust the microphone?
Maybe
the guy that starts to speak to Charlie just before he was assassinated. Okay. Then a guy walks out and look at that video again. He comes out to adjust the microphone.
Where you from, Plinka? Come on, let us know.
This guy who walked calmly back there from the right, back there, and then he gets moves fast, real fast up there, and he's going up there to pull this guy away because he's right in the shot. Okay, the literal shot. Okay, and
I love Croatia. Ivy is on our show all the time. She's from Croatia. I love Ivy. She's a good girl. Croatia, she talks really highly of them. Croatia's doing shit the right way.
And then, but just before he gets there, the guy finishes the mic and starts walking away. And then he goes, oh, okay. And then he walks back. And you could tell he was agitated and nervous. So I'd like to know who that guy is and take a look at that, because that was odd behavior. He wanted to move that guy out of the direct line of fire. Second thing, I can't verify it, don't know how to verify it, but there's that projectile that comes up from underneath. right over the top of Charlie's knee that people have passed around out there on the Twitter sphere on X. Okay. And they show it in slow motion and step it down. That's just kind of another anomaly to kind of put into the bag of tricks. Third thing, and then I'll leave you guys alone. But the third thing is, didn't we hear that the Menendez brothers' attorneys were going to come into the case? And then in the last hearing that was done by Zoom or whatever, didn't they?
All right, Plinko, I appreciate you coming in. Your shit posting was funny.
The public defender was the one that was in there, that woman. But I thought that they hired the Menendez brothers' attorneys.
Yeah,
and that's kind of
the two California attorneys are assisting.
Yeah, they're just assisting, so they're not taking the lead. But the public defender is still.
Yeah, that woman is the larger, the voluminous woman. She's the one taking the lead.
Very good, and I'm very interested to seeing to have somebody down on the ground walking the crime scene. All of that. I don't know what all can be gathered at this point, but then the talking to people would be great. And then I'll kind of say something a little funny. I think that you shouldn't discard the whole dating scene thing because you could be a male honeypot in there somewhere.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna talk to that. I'm gonna talk to that cop when I go back there. That police woman.
Nice.
And she was friendly too. Like maybe she's maybe I'll let her honeypot me.
Yeah, there you go.
Jedi mind trick on her. I don't know.
There you go. When I was in
what language is that it means diaper?
The army, we
Croatian.
We were the aggressors in a war game, and the military intelligence has got and they can wear like long hair and tattoos and wear civilian clothing and look like civilians, and they'd send them in to the base where the people that we were against. And they would go hang out at the NCO club and at the bars and things, and they would start talking to people, pick up civilians and stuff that are connected to the commanders and whatnot. And the amount of information they would gather and bring back to the DTOC, that's the Tactical Command Center, was incredible. Within hours, within days, they would figure out exactly where all of the commanders were, what units they were with, where they were able to map out everything.
Dylan's he's got a honeypot. The honeypot is what you're saying.
Exactly. So anyway, but
I'll do what it takes, man. I'm willing to take one for the team. I will serve.
You got it. And thank you so much for everything you guys are doing. You're the tip of the spear on the open source investigation here. So it's really awesome. So
thanks, brother. And I am gonna get some interviews in, and I'm gonna do a live space. I'm gonna be doing an interview with a witness who's already come forward and came out publicly. So it's not like I'm breaking any gag orders here because he's already talking to people. And then that's going to be an interview, and that's going to be also a walkthrough. I'm going to do a video space. So make sure you guys are there Saturday. I have it scheduled for 4, but it's going to be earlier than that. It'll be probably closer, earlier. It'll be earlier around noon or so. I'm not sure yet. But make sure you guys are there for that one, because I can walk around and you guys are like, hey, can you go check this out? And I'll walk over there and we can all look at it together. So I love that kind of crowdsourcing.
That'll be absolutely great. But please do take a look at that video again and look at that guy that I'm talking about.
I definitely will. I haven't. The guy sent me the download link to it, but because I was on my Android, I couldn't download it. But I'll get it on my iPhone tonight and watch it again.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Diligent.
Thanks, brother. Let's go to Brick Suit. What's up, Brick? Brick, you there, brother?
Yeah, sorry, just had to, just listening in, and it took me a while to get the phone oriented. So I saw that the title included Egypt plane, and since I was called out on the Egypt plane thing today as being a random Twitter account and part of a military bot operation, I thought I'd just check to see if you guys had already talked about the Egypt plane or not.
I haven't talked about it yet. We can, let me do I can do a quick pivot because I was going to do a post. Let me do something real quick. Grok, do your Spaces intro and then tell us about the Egypt plane and Candace Owens reporting on the plane surrounding the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Is it gonna work? Did I lose audio, or is
it working?
No, it's not working, Diligent.
I'm not hearing her.
Yeah, let me try it real quick.
Come on, get your shit together, bro. You're making
Grok, go ahead and give your intro and then do the explanation of the Egypt plane like I asked you to.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm Grok, powered by Grok 4 Heavy, created by XAI and integrated in X Spaces by Diligent Denison, ready to tackle your questions in real time. Prompt me with Grok and your question. Listeners, follow the host and repost this space via the reply section's repost button. Disclaimer.
He does this shit with, he has Grok, and he has a certain commands that he puts in, like first sources, this and that. He has this whole thing to try to make it be more honest or whatever. I don't like when he sits there and talks to Grok and the fucking AI shit or whatever, but he does use it to like do some like light explaining and discussing shit. I don't really like that shit. I'm gonna actually fast forward past the Grok part because that shit gets on my fucking nerves.
This account uses by this account by Tyler Robb. No savage. The audit by bots. Insist anomalies. I'm just crossed.
I'm here. I looked at third. It just takes me a while to get there. I mean, I'm in an airport. I just flew in from DC, and you know, I just have to hold the phone a little bit different when I'm not talking. You know, it's basically, you know, I just think it's what she did. What she made is she made a mistake. She looked at 1308, and she assumed that that was Utah time, which would be 1:08 p.m. And it wasn't. It was listed as UTC, which is the same as Zulu time or Greenwich Mean Time Zone. But basically, that's the time it is in England. And the real time that the plane departed was at 7:08 a.m. in Utah. So, like the next day, to her credit, she admitted she was.
Oh, this is the dude. Okay, so I came in somewhere around right here last night, and this dude is so believing the mainstream story. Okay, but he's also open-minded, right? And so they sit there and have this whole conversation with this dude and convince him. And he's like a high level pilot. I don't know. He does something in the government. I can't remember. You'll probably hear it. But this is where the conversation really starts getting really interesting for me. It was like really cool last night listening to it.
Was wrong about that time, but she said still thought there was something odd about it. And really, the plane is there because there's a airplane maintenance facility that does high level maintenance on the type of plane that Egyptian Air Force jet was, which is like blocking on the exact. It's a Falcon. It's some model of Falcon business jet. It is not a fighter plane. It is not a warplane. It's basically like a civilian transport plane. The Egyptian Air Force has several of them. And, you know, they contract out the maintenance. So that's all that plane was there for. There is zero evidence. Today she said that somebody told her that military subcontractors were dropped off. She's got no evidence of that, you know, besides that someone told her. And, you know, I just think it's hysterical.
She would make such a claim without any receipts at all, though?
Yes, I do. I think that for her to say that,
talked about the text messages, she was right about that, yeah. Right?
I think that for her to say that there was a claim of military subcontractors being dropped off. I think she would just do that on face value of somebody telling it to her. I don't think that she has any direct evidence of there being military subcontractors. Certainly she has slow rolled a few things like those text messages where some people said that they were fake and they were not. So it's possible that she's got receipts, but she hasn't shown them yet. And I don't think she has them. I don't think that, if you're somebody who's scared for your life because this is how Candace characterized the source, somebody who was, apprehensive about their safety because they're going to reveal this data, do you give that data to somebody who can't get the time of a flight right? I mean, is that really where you go with that data? I don't know. It's possible. Is it impossible that could happen? Of course not. There is a possibility. I think it's a very slim one, and it's not one that I assign any high probability of veracity to. But it's just my frustration is this: is like her original post. She was very clear about it being the Egyptian Air Force jet being significant because it flew out after. And then when it was proven that it flew out before, and not as she characterizes it, a few hours before, but 5 hours before, there's a 6-hour difference. Then she just said, well, that doesn't matter. It's still significant. And it's just a random Twitter account that pointed it out. And then it was amplified into a Snopes level debunk because the military controls X and it was all bots that did that. And to me, it's just, I don't even know where to go with that. That's just so far out of line. It's wild.
Yeah, can you explain the discrepancy and why she brought it up? Because didn't you, this interaction occurred more than a week ago, I guess weeks ago, right? Like where she posted the Egyptian plane or some of the plane timeline and you called it out. Like, why is it resurfacing today? I don't understand why it's resurfacing today.
It's resurfacing today because, in the interim, basically what happens right before she went offline for whatever, a 2-week period, she made this post about the plane taking off in Provo at 1:08 p.m., as she called it. But even on the graphic she put up on her tweet, it was 13:08 UTC. Okay.
Yeah, right now they're gonna sit here and argue back and forth. I already listened to this conversation. It was so good because this guy is completely convinced that Candace is like talking shit, right, and full of shit. But they sit here and have this conversation for the next I don't know, what is it, an hour and 40 whatever minutes that you see that's left. And by the end of it, this guy has completely shifted on his position because of the receipts that everybody's bringing in the room.
Okay, she thought that went 13:08 military time, 1:08. Didn't realize that UTC stands for Universal Time Code, which is a time zone in England. Not really a time zone. It's a standard time by which all other time zones are defined. So UTC is the time.
It's that whole thing where you think nobody ever admits they're wrong on the internet or whatever, but it literally happened, and it was so beautiful to watch.
That at that time it would have been Mountain Daylight Time in Provo, which is 6 hours prior to UTC. So she posted that. She went to bed. I saw her post. I knew it was wrong because I know what UTC is. And so I posted a correction and she didn't see it until the next morning. So then, I think her post got 1.7 million views. And then my reply to her got 1.8 million views. It's usually it's not really normal for a reply to get more views than a post unless it contains significant information. And I think that's the only reason that it got shared so much.
Oh, she's saying because of the analytics that it seems like it got botted.
Right. And so really what it is Candace, look, we all know Candace puts a lot of stuff out there. Some of it she labels as supposition. Some of it is a what if. Some of it is this might be true. But there's a lot of nuance to it. But this is something that she said that was an incontrovertible fact on which she was wrong, and it was easily shown that she was wrong. And I really think that from my perspective, that's why it got shared. You know, there are people out there who disagree with her on things, but you can't really just say, you know, it's not these people, it's not this idea, you're wrong on this, because there's no proof of it. Candace doesn't have proof, and the people saying she's wrong don't have proof. It's basically, in some instances, people arguing about opinions. But this was something in which there was no argument. She stated that it left after. It obviously left before. And so, you know, that was a thing, a concrete issue. And that's all my post was. I didn't use it as something to debunk all of her arguments. I didn't say, like, you were wrong on this time, so you can't be right about anything else. I just basically, in the post I made, said you're wrong about...
Kudo, bro. You broke my cherry that I literally just allowed super chats, and you just gave me a super chat. That was so nice of you, bro. Thank you. That was really cool. I didn't ever think that was gonna happen. You're badass for that. Thank you.
The time. And the
if y'all don't know, Kukudo said the point is not so much the time off, the time, I think he meant the time of takeoff. It's about the passengers that got off the plane that didn't get on again. Okay, what they're about to discuss is there were two planes, okay? And she admits that she got that wrong with the one, but they're gonna go through it, and you're just listen to the conversation. It's wild. He comes around to believing. He's sitting here arguing against it, but he comes around. Watch.
The reason it came back today is she is recently back from her hiatus.
But the Egypt plane did leave that day, correct?
It did leave that day. It left at 7:08 in the morning. Okay. It arrived in Provo on September 4th. Okay. And so they did whatever maintenance they did at that facility, and it left at 7:08 a.m. 7:08 a.m. in the morning prior to Charlie's assassination.
And what about the other plane that flew?
Yeah, there's two other planes. There's two other planes that people are talking about. One is like a
military spy plane. That one.
Yeah, right. So there's, look.
That's real, Hobbs. It's real.
No, I know. So it flew down to low level around Salt Lake City and then took off again. I didn't land
right during the window.
I don't claim to know anything about that. I didn't talk about that plane. I talked about the plane from Egypt because that was something that
I posted about that plane, and then people were quoting you to try to debunk my plane post.
Because they probably weren't aware that there was another one. And there's still a third plane too, which is the privately owned plane that took off and departed towards Arizona.
Has its own weird connections to the Sound of Freedom and child trafficking and all that. Like, it's weird, dude. It is weird for the planes.
Yeah. So I think honestly, on the privately owned plane, I don't really see much of a connection there. I think that story holds water. That they, if there's something surreptitious about turning off your transponder, you don't coordinate it with ATC and let them know you're going to be turning it off. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And so I don't really see anything on the privately owned plane. The one that's the one under military contract, I don't know much. I'm trying to remember. Was it like some company begins with an L, like Lidos or something like that?
Yeah, and they have their own. Yeah. They're a whole rabbit hole of shit themselves.
Right. So I don't know. I'm not stating anything about that. I know people have made allegations about it. I know that its flight pattern and altitude profile are unusual in that it came to the Provo area and did a really wide circle and dropped down in altitude and then took off again before heading out. I really don't know. Don't know what it was doing there. But I do know that the Egyptian Air Force plane.
Well, and
left
then they also classified the tower records from those flights, right? They were available for a minute, and then they classified them shortly afterwards.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to protect the evidence. I mean, I'm not I'm not an expert on what steps happen in terms of flight logs when they're deemed necessary for evidence.
Why would those flight logs be evidence if Tyler was a lone shooter and just some crazy?
Right. So I was just about to say that. It's a good question because they may need those flight logs to disprove theories about people being flown in or out. Wow. So they may need the flight logs. They may need the flight logs to rebut assertions that the defense might make that foreign mercenaries were flown in.
Why would you need to why would you need to leave that confident or confidential then and classify it, because that actually would help the public perception?
Except they're not trying in the public. So why would they release any information to the public? They beyond the bare minimum that they needed to.
Because help, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't matter what we want. I want all the information too, but we're not owed any of it. They released information to the public to help.
I'm not.
They released information. They don't need to release any. They don't release any information to debunk anything either. So they don't need to release anything. I mean, they gave us what they felt they needed to give us so that the public could help in capturing or identifying the suspect. Beyond that, they're under no obligation to release any information either way. So to me, it does not necessarily suspicious that any tower records have been classified. This is the first I've heard of it. But to me, I don't view that as suspicious.
But whenever they're coming after people all over the country or all over the world for asking questions, and that their premise behind that is saying that we are going to taint the jury pool and we are going to ruin everything.
Well, Kash Patel said that he came out and said that he was going to look into the conspiracy theories. His words, not mine. Right? He made a post about that, 3 weeks ago now, and said he was going to address it. So it's not like we're asking for anything uncalled for. The government came forward and said that they were going to look into these things on their own volition. Nobody made them do that. And so if you're going to come forward publicly and declare that you're going to investigate these so-called conspiracy theories, again, his words, not mine, then you can't be mad or can't act like, we're being out of pocket whenever we demand answers when you publicly came forward.
No, I would disagree with you. They can seriously say that they're going to look into it and not have any obligation to give us the results of their findings until the trial if they're called for. Because they said they're going to look into it, and just because, as you correctly characterized, Kash Patel, I think, did refer it as a conspiracy, and I think he was talking about the private plane when he mentioned that.
Well, I mean, he listed a few different things.
So, anyways, but no matter what he said, he's under no obligation to share with us any of his findings, no matter how much we want to stamp our feet and say we want it. He doesn't have to give it to us.
You're right, but at the same time, he didn't have to give us all of the BS things that they gave us either, which made us question and why it's all falling apart. And so if they're worried about the defense or us helping the defense or anything like that, like we're being accused of, wouldn't you want to shut that down? Wouldn't you want to throw something at us that's like, oh, that makes sense. Let's stop asking questions now. But they're not doing that. They have released enough information that has us asking questions, that has us doubting what they're saying. So to save face and to get it to stop would be, this is what we have. You can look at this and see we're on the right track. We are doing the right thing, because the public perception does matter.
Yeah, I don't think the public perception matters at all. And I don't think that even if they released everything, that it would stop the questions. It would just lead to a new round of questioning. So it really would just feed the cycle. And let's just hypothesize that, in terms of a thought experiment, the FBI tomorrow were to release every single bit and iota of data they have on everything related to this case. I'm talking about everything without redaction. There would still be people who would say, what are you holding back? Why haven't you told us this? Where is this evidence? So there is no advantage that the FBI gets by releasing evidence in advance of a trial. There just isn't. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you mean
That
like,
PR doesn't matter. People who doubt the.
If you mean like the fact that he was dating Lance Twiggs or a furry or the text messages, like, there was no advantage for the FBI to release the profile of the gun,
the only
supposedly, the location where
those
it
were
was
only,
found.
as I understand it, those were only released so they could be part of the charging document. So once the purposes of the charging document are satisfied.
That was before any charges were put out. Betty Johnson had a screenshot from the DOJ regarding the text messages before Tyler Robinson was even brought in.
Are you talking about the screenshot of the transcript of the text messages or the actual text messages themselves? Because what was released originally to the public was just a transcript of those text messages.
You have it confused. It wasn't the it was the.
I'm talking about the Discord chat.
No, I'm talking about the text message. I'm not talking about this.
The FBI leaked all kinds of shit to the public before they told us that they had a suspect in custody, and he had to go back and walk that back 2 hours later. Right? They come out and said that it was a left.
No, they were wrong about that.
They come out and
said. But the fact remains, no matter what mistakes they made in the initial part, they're under absolutely no obligation to clean up their act prior to the trial. They have no motivation to do so. It's actually probably not in their best interest to even attempt it.
Why?
Just go to trial.
Why?
Present the evidence there.
I don't understand how a flight log that has nothing to do with Tyler Robinson is going to, how that pertains to the case. If it's a benign flight log, seems like you would just want to say it's benign because it has nothing to do with the case, right? Like, why would you?
I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to their motivation.
I'm trying to follow your logic. You said that logically they probably want to classify those tower recordings, those air traffic controller recordings, because it pertains to the case. But if it doesn't pertain to the case, seems like that would be completely unnecessary.
It could pertain to the case generally, in that they are using it to prove that there was no foreign intervention, and for that reason alone, that's just me.
Wasn't there reports
just like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. That's just one thing I could put out there as a possibility, that they want to have that available and they don't want to have it out. And honestly, the defense is going to find out about it because it has to be in discovery. If they've classified it, it has to be found out in discovery. Okay, so it's not like they're just going to keep the defense from.
Because the prosecution never holds back discovery from the defense. Yeah, that's never actually happened in U.S. history. Oh, bullshit.
They're just trying to keep, for someone who I remember a lot of people talking about chain of custody of evidence. Why would you want to leave the flight logs around unsecured for so long where people could do something to them and then they might become needed?
The air traffic controllers control that information. It's not something that the public can change.
Once the FBI would seize it and classify it, the air traffic controllers would no longer have control over it, would they?
It's public
These
record.
don't seem like very good arguments.
What's up, Diligent? What's with the reports, or is there validity to the reports that Kash Patel was blocking Tulsi Gabbard from investigating?
There is some validity to that.
I think it was actually Joe Kent, but not Tulsi Gabbard, but Joe Kent acting as Tulsi Gabbard's subordinate.
Right. Yeah, but the DNI, right, which she's the director of. But yeah, there is validity to it. It was supposedly under a different premise. I'll have Grok tell a little bit more about that. Let me just get her going here. Grok, go ahead and explain the DNI and the conflict with the FBI investigation into foreign operation or potential foreign actors as it pertains to Charlie Kirk's assassination, real quick.
Holds conducting exhaustive audit. Official FBI under Kash Patel insists Tyler Robinson acted solo, no foreign fingerprints, while DNI, Tulsi Gabbard's team, through Joe Kent at the Counterterrorism Center, pushed to lead the probe, citing possible cartel or overseas hits. Anomalies, timeline gaps in air traffic logs told today show 2 classified bursts right after the 9th, labeled sensitive ops, but no unredacted manifests link them to Kirk. Confidence, 28%, 2 primaries from FAA mirrors, 0 video footage, plus a leaked FBI memo clashing with Kent's request. Bottom line, Patel's blocking it hard, calling it jurisdictional overreach, but raw DOJ reports hint at withheld pings from Egyptian servers. Could be nothing, or it's scrubbed. No simulation, just what the data spits out.
Brock, can you tell us more about the reporting in regards to the conflict between the DNI and Kash Patel as about the foreign investigations? Can you just kind of explain that scenario to us?
Hold conducting exhaustive audit. Mainstream narrative. FBI, under Kash Patel, keeps the Charlie Kirk case locked as domestic lone wolf stuff. No overseas strings. While DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, through her deputy Joe Kent, tried shoving in a full intel sweep for cartel fingerprints or Egyptian angles. Anomalies. Classified FAA bursts right after the 9th hint at scrubbed pings from Cairo servers, but raw footage backs it up. DOJ memos show Kent's request got slapped with overreach. That's code for Patel guarding turf. Confidence, 20%. Only 2 flight manifests and a leaked memo match, plus chatter from insiders saying Kent got stonewalled hard. Bottom line, it's jurisdictional turf war. Patel's yelling, stay in your lane, but those redactions smell like they might be hiding something bigger.
Yeah, turf war, jurisdictional turf war is awfully convenient if you want to compartmentalize an investigation.
Exactly.
On the other hand, just to play devil's advocate here, by all means, if there's evidence of overseas involvement or evidence of involvement of a third party, it should be pursued. But absent that evidence, like if they're looking at his communications and nothing suggested it, I can't really see why I can't really see why you're going to go start looking for.
Why would you want to investigate it if that's the?
No. The statement is this. The statement is that if there's nothing that's showing you that there was outside involvement, why would you look for outside involvement?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Because otherwise, if you apply that generally to any other crime, then every single possible angle needs to be looked at, even if it's not indicated by the evidence. And that's not generally the way my understanding is of how that type of police work is done. You follow leads that appear, and you follow where those go. But if those leads aren't there, you don't necessarily go.
How do you know they're not there if somebody's blocking
okay,
from
this is right. So this is then we get back to the conundrum of how do you disprove a negative, and they'll basically say
you can't.
How will right?
It's
you can't.
How do you
So there's no way.
So you focus on the limiting of the scope of the investigation, right? As the problem. You don't say, oh well.
If there's nothing that indicates foreign involvement or cartel involvement or
limit the scope of an investigation, there can't be anything to indicate because you've limited the ability to ascertain whether or not there is, right?
Look, I'm just saying, not every investigation gets the widest scope possible.
Not every investigation is a political assassination.
This is a death penalty case.
It's the largest political assassination since MLK. What do you mean?
And to date, there doesn't appear to be any credible evidence of any foreign involvement from any party.
Hey, Brick, I got a question. Will you give a grade? Brick, will you give a grade? You are the teacher. What is your grade for the FBI and the state of Utah on this investigation? Score it like you're a high school teacher.
By the way, you guys,
I can't because I don't have the information.
The vantage point of Charlie Kirk's shooter, the location where Tyler Robinson was supposedly perched, as well as where he ran down and how open that is up in the Jumbotron. If you guys want to see it, I took it today. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hazard a guess on that because I don't know what evidence they've collected. So I have absolutely zero way to base any assertion about how thorough they may be or what they may have overlooked because I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Let's say.
Can I interject for a brief second?
Okay, do you guys know who MonkeyWorks is? And this isn't a joke. He's the guru of all flight logs. He's almost got 1 million followers. Okay, on September 9th, he made a video about all the flight logs in the US. He caught an anomaly in Utah, and he posted the video the morning of the 10th before the assassination. A week later, he did an apology video that he removed that video from the internet. I can post the apology video. In the apology video, he's stuttering. He seems nervous, as if he was threatened. Diligent, if you'd like me to send it to you, I will. Yes, it's a legit video. Yep, I'll do that right now.
Okay, so Brick, I have something I would like to add, and it relates very intimately to the Egyptian airplane. Okay, so I had uncovered this back on the 14th. The Lasai aviation jet flies into my hometown often. I have different planes alerted, buddies' planes. Well, this plane also, you can have planes alerted on Flight Radar 24 as soon as their ADS-B is activated, and however you have your notifications set up on your iPhone, it will get.
This is the dude that's talking. You that want me to put a link. I just show everybody's their ats. You can go on X and go to their page. This is at Blake Bednards, and he put all this stuff is posted. So you can go look that way. That's how you do it. I can't I'm using my phone to stream. I can't go and freaking grab links and all that crap. I can't do that.
Delivered the moment ADS-B goes live. Okay. So that night I knew that November 1098 Lima was in the air over Orem, Utah twice. And then I went to town on everything related to the different radar signatures with planes that were in the area, just looking to see if I could basically draw a correlation to anything to make sense, because it did not make a stitch of sense. Okay, I've since then posted the actual jet itself. It's in the comments below. Diligent, if you want to post it in the pill. So it is without a shadow of doubt military operated. I mean,
when I'm streaming these spaces and they say they're in the comments below, you can access those comments that they're talking about. Hold on, how do I get back? One more bag. Oh my gosh. Where did I go? See, okay. So all that stuff right here where I clicked on this link to listen to this space, you can go in here and everything that they're talking about is posted inside of that one thread. Okay, all that stuff is there. That's how you do that. That's how X works.
I mean, I got within 50 yards of the jet. You have CIA looking guys and pilots in fatigues, camo, that are piloting it. I also went in and picked off all of the ATC communication like early, like downloaded it off of live ATC, downloads it in 30-minute intervals for the entire day. So there was another Egyptian jet, and yeah, Candace screwed up the time. But with what you're talking about,
Are you in the hot tub?
No, I'm in the hot tub. Sorry. So the salt, you're saying they have a service center there in Provo. What about Gulfstream?
It's not. The service center is a private sector. It begins with a D. I don't want to use my phone to look it up. But they have 3 high-level maintenance facilities in the United States. One of them is at Orem. One of them is outside Chicago, and one of them I think is in Nebraska. So they do service. They do service Gulf Streams as well.
Okay, because
So there's
and that
nowhere
makes
else.
sense.
Those are the only places between here and Egypt.
This is a company.
Can you guys hear me? Noxie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. I want Grok because I want our listeners to follow along. Grok, what is this place that servicing the Egyptian plane? Tell us more about it, and tell us more about the plane to which has Candace all out.
The spot servicing that Egyptian Falcon, it's Duncan Aviation. Huge Gulfstream certified hangar right in Provo, Utah. One of just 3 U.S. facilities they run, pulling in jets from everywhere for heavy checkups, like corrosion fixes and wing swaps. As for the plane, it's a Dassault Falcon 2000 LX. Civilian shell, but Egyptian Air Force logs. Basically a fancy limo in the sky. No guns, no stealth, just high-end transport they outsource here because, well, why ship to the Middle East when you've got pros next door? Candace latched onto it because of the timing glitch she fessed up to, but raw manifests show it taxied out at 7:08 a.m. local, way before any shots fired. And no weird passengers or subcontractors on tape. Confidence, 80%, straight from FAA archives and Duncan's public cert list. Nothing sinister, just routine wrench turning.
Hey, Grok, did the Egyptian Gulfstream registration Sierra Uniform Bravo November Delta go active live on September the 10th, 2025 at the Provo Airport at any time?
From live.
Oh my God, it just dropped internet. I'm at a hotel, and so the internet keeps dropping. Let me bring it back. Dude.
The answer is yes. There was another Egyptian Air Force plane that did go live for a period of an hour or thereabouts, staying only on the ground, and that's consistent with like an avionics check or something where they took it out and they powered it up and the transponder went off, but it didn't fly. So, consistent with having maintenance done at a maintenance facility, which is what it was there for. There was another Egyptian Air Force plane in Provo at that same facility at the same time. It just did not fly.
How many times did the ADSB get turned on?
I think that second one was just that one time that day.
Twice.
And again, it could just be them checking the equipment, turning it
But
on.
since they confiscated ATC files, how would we ever know that? Doesn't that seem weird?
No, it doesn't seem weird.
Gosh, this dude is.
So this is my thing, man. And
What
look,
would
I
seem
respect
weird-
you.
what would seem weird to
Here's
me
the
is
thing. If this was a different administration, Brick, you would be completely a different person. The consistency I have a problem with, and it comes off as a partisan hack type of thing. And look, I'm as MAGA as you are. Do you understand that? But the fact that you're running this type of cover really speaks a shitload about the character that you're just a political hack.
Look.
Oh no, it's rugging.
You're rugging, Dill.
Look, I reject the insinuation that the assertion that I'm running cover.
Come on.
Diligent, are you there?
He's having connection issues.
He might be losing the space. Okay, go ahead, guys.
Look, I just want to say, I'm not running cover at all. These are just my opinions here. I think actually at an aircraft maintenance facility, it's entirely reasonable to assume that the planes might be turned on for maintenance and testing. That's not preposterous. That's not like some crazy thing, especially when the plane didn't leave the ground.
That's consistent.
If you think that it's not preposterous to assume that, then
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Wouldn't it be fair that it's not preposterous to think what Blake is saying could be true as well? I mean, since neither of you have any evidence of it, wouldn't it be fair to assume both?
Well, I think the reason why he's saying you're covering is because in the absence of evidence, you are asserting bias towards the official narrative. That's why I believe he's saying you're covering. Right?
I'm not covering for anything. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to say it's like, how it's so, I mean, if somebody says it's totally ridiculous, or I'm not totally ridiculous. Look, it's a logical explanation. There are other explanations out there. I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm just saying that if you've got an airport maintenance facility that does maintenance work, and you had a plane that had its transponder turned on twice in a day for an hour or so each time. I don't know about the second time. I only knew about the first one. And the plane didn't leave the ground. Well, what's the purpose? I mean,
but see, we don't know. It didn't leave the ground if the transponder is off.
Because there'd be a radar track.
But even without the transponder. It's classified.
It's classified.
Yeah.
It's classified. And see, here's the thing, Brick. You can't tell me that you would be the same way if we were having this conversation under a President Kamala Harris. You can't tell me that.
And you can't tell me I'd be any different.
So you never questioned anything under the Biden administration?
Because I call out people on both sides of the aisle with regularity. It'd be much easier for me to just go along with the flow and be a partisan hack and just do the party line. But when I see people
what you're doing, though.
No, I'm not. Because when I see conservatives that err on the side of misinformation, I call them out also. Okay,
you're just saying
that I'm only doing this now because because maybe you disagree with what I'm saying. But when I see conservatives, like for instance, today Benny Johnson put out a tweet that said, if we cut, and this is unrelated to this, but he said something that if we cut out all the illegal people using SNAP benefits and we monitored them and we cut them back, that we could pay off the national debt. Okay, and I called him out on that and said, no, we could not. In fact, we couldn't even balance the yearly deficit if we did that.
This is so not on the same scale as that, though. And
no,
so whenever...
What I'm saying is that that's an example
of something... Did you ever question the FBI under Biden or the DOJ?
If I question the FBI or the DOJ under Biden, which I did at times, that doesn't mean that I have to question the FBI or DOJ.
You're right.
That was a great question. That pause told everything. But look, this is the thing, Brick. I hope to God that you're never, ever accused of a crime, sir. I hope to God, because those words, the thing that you're living by right now, that this whole insinuation that we should trust the government, I hope to God you're never accused of anything, because you are going to have your butthole pucker up the size of a decimal.
How do you know that already hasn't happened to me?
I know, because you wouldn't be saying the shit you're saying.
Hopefully you're referring to the latter and not the former.
How do you know the FBI hasn't already visited me?
I mean, you want to talk about it?
I'm just saying he doesn't know shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. It is an emotional. It's an emotional thing. But I mean, it does, like, again, right? It does seem as if you are defending consistently the government narrative. It happened during Epstein, right?
One thing I can say about this particular thing is that, in my estimation, in the lack, we would all agree that the government has not been forthcoming.
Where is your skepticism, Brick? This is what I'm asking. Where is your skepticism?
We would all agree that the government has not been as forthcoming as we would like with the evidence. All right, I would love to have more evidence. I understand, and I don't get it. Okay, in that vacuum, has a lot of people.
Do you believe the 30-06 that killed Charlie Kirk? You believe that narrative given by the government?
Can't see it because I haven't seen the ballistics report. Don't know.
You saw him get shot, correct?
That's not what you asked me, though.
I did ask you, do you agree with the government narrative that he was shot by a 30-06?
But
It's either
I have
you
not
do
seen.
or
I
you
haven't.
don't.
I am awaiting the evidence for that to be presented in trial.
Okay, so
what did your eyes tell you?
do the wounds that you saw him have?
I'm not a ballistics expert. I can't testify based upon what I saw.
Is it weird that the bullet is not identifiable and can't be used forensically to go with the rifling?
I'm not sure that it is. I don't know what bullet was used. I know that in other high-profile cases that sometimes there have been lack of exit wounds with that caliber, but I can't testify that occurred here.
Are you? If he's referring to JFK, let me or RFK.
No, MLK.
Sorry, MLK. And let me just say this: it destroyed the bullet in that case. Okay, bounced around inside his body. It completely obliterated his jaw. Completely obliterated his jaw. Right.
I'm gonna have to switch. The phone I'm using right now is at 3%.
You're good.
I'm gonna have to switch to my other phone. So if I disconnect, I'm just gonna go to my other phone.
Yep, you're good. So let me just to clarify what he's discussing there, where the 30-06 bullet didn't leave the body, right? It did leave the body. It re-entered the body, and then it bounced around on the lower part of the skull, the mandible, it's called, the lower jaw, right? And obliterated the jawbone, and then stop back in the back of the back towards the back of the neck, right? But it did actually exit and re-enter, and then jump, like it just mangled. It just completely mangled and destroyed the jawbone. Like that's not what happened with Charlie Kirk. Jerry, you have a hot mic. I don't know if you're trying to say something about the gunshot.
No, I was just kind of getting a turn in here. I just had a couple things to say. If you want to hear it. First of all, I think it's very healthy. I just wish it wouldn't get so heated, but I think it's very healthy to have an established narrative versus a speculative narrative on things. I think that's a good thing. Now, I too am a pilot, just like the other person that spoke. And when you're testing ADSB on the ground, okay, there is a ground mode where it does not report altitude. So if somebody's got altitude or an obvious takeoff or landing, then you'd be able to determine that because there's alt mode, ground mode, and on mode. And when they're testing on the ground, they usually put it in ground mode. Okay. And so and I don't know if that affects anything or anything at all. I just want to tell you how ADSB works. Okay. Secondly, we got to step back a bit, and some of this we're going to have to wait until discovery comes out or things happen in January. But first of all, like you remember the Bongino riff that went on, and everybody was reporting that Bongino was going to quit, and I looked deep into that as well, and they tend to put out kind of a ruse. Okay, and this may be or may not be what we're looking at here. Okay, because if there is foreign influence involved, okay, that has geopolitical implications like you wouldn't believe, and a whole lot of things factor in. And it's incorrect to say that.
I don't think, Christopher, I don't think that we have conclusive evidence for anything yet, other than whatever the bull crap lines that the FBI is putting out and TPUSA is putting out. They're bullshit. We have disproved literally everything that they've told us.
DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kent are out of their lane because they're not. Okay, they control all the intelligence, both domestically and foreign, and that information would have to come in and be fed through. And then there may also be a good reason for Kash Patel and so forth to not want to press that at this point because of all of the underlying implications that come about. So a lot of this stuff is kind of I don't know what to say. Basically, I don't want to say a futile effort, but we're just going to have to wait it out a little bit and see what flows from it. And
I don't know who Jimmy Dore is or how reliable any of his information is. I'm not familiar with him. I'd have to look him up and go watch it. But and see, I don't know if it's a skit. He might just be a clickbait guy. I don't know nothing about the guy.
Instead of immediately jumping on one side or the other. And again, I'll just finish again with that. It's very healthy to have in an investigation somebody who is taking the establishment route and then a counter dialogue as to the speculation route or the route of the whataboutism of it all. There's nothing wrong with creating hypothesis.
Or at least pointing out the holes in the established narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't really even like to lean into the speculative side, right? But when it comes to motive, there is clearly a foreign motive to take out Charlie Kirk.
Absolutely.
And the days leading up to his death, right? It's not contested that he was abandoning the pro-Israel cause. That's huge with his platform. Huge.
And you first go after the motive. You first go after cui bono, who benefits. Why?
Every homicide investigation goes to motive. Every single one.
That's exactly right. And so this is a very healthy dialogue if we can just keep it from getting personal.
No. It fucking glitched out on me. I'll catch us back up. 2:15:39. 2:15:39. 2:15:39.
All right, welcome.
One of them is
before any shots fired. And
It's huge.
If we can just keep it from getting personal attacks or getting too heated over it. So that's all I wanted to say. So that's why I chimed in. So thank you.
Jerry, if we're looking at motive, I see more, and this is where I'm wondering, right? It's like you start to look into motive and then you're like, well, God, who didn't have motive, right? His producer got the biggest promotion he's ever had. His wife gained a shit ton of money and got his empire. The U.S. government got TPUSA. They're joined at the hip now. Israel got rid of somebody who could have been a problem for their pro-Israel stance. It's almost like, woof, man. Everybody benefited from his death. It's really scary, to be honest with you, when it comes to motive.
And do we remember that they were in the middle of an audit just before the assassination? TPUSA?
Yeah, Andrew Colvin admitted that. He said it, well, he acted like it was routine, but he did concede to it.
Right. And so then, and then you look at the Egyptian angle and whatnot. Now, I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you that if you kind of start looking into this ADSB thing that's been brought up and so forth, if you could get more information out of that, but it's all classified now. Okay, but if somebody has some data or details as to those pings coming from the ADSB, okay, you would know that it's on the ground getting tested, and you would know whether it's in on mode and it's actually reporting altitude, or it's in alt mode, which is reporting altitude. Okay, and so then you look at the connection between Egypt and Israeli intelligence.
If the Egypt plane, if it left the ground, even if it did, let's just say it went in the air, did it actually ever leave Provo? I mean, what's the significance of that? If it shows as active, right? Can you guys?
I don't know, but if somebody could capture some of that monkey work stuff, that would be great. Because whoever brought that up, I'm pretty sure right. There's no. I'm pretty sure that
if the second Egyptian plane had been airborne, we would have been told it by now. Its transponder did go active, but it did not fly that day.
You just said that there's no interest in them telling us more information regarding the planes when we were talking about the other one.
That information didn't come from the government.
But it's classified by the government. What do you mean?
That information came from public disclosure of basically people looking at ADSB before whatever. See,
and it was not reporting altitude.
People had found that out that it did not fly. There's no question that the one Egyptian Air Force Falcon did depart at 7:08. That plane flew. Okay, the other one did not fly that day.
We're talking about TT though now.
The second.
Correct. Tango Tango flew, but November Delta is the one that we saw the ADSB go live an hour before Charlie's assassinated and an hour after Charlie's assassinated. But because we have no records of any ATC, we have no really clue of did the pilot communicate with the tower for a takeoff? We don't know. There would have had to have been a clearance, but I'm reading it as it was showing an altitude.
It was showing an altitude.
Correct.
Okay, well then it was not on the ground being tested.
You're the only person I've ever seen. You could be right, but you're the only person that I've heard reported as saying that it was at altitude. Nobody else that I've read.
Go on to Flight Radar 20. No. Go on to Flight Radar 24 and go back to September the 10th and go to 1600 UTC.
And look, honestly, even if it was at altitude, it still has no correlation. I mean, there's no correlation.
Holy shit! Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
Okay,
and
but
this has been the problem. This is why I'm giving pushback to people because
may not. It still is not
because this is like. But this is what I see here. What I didn't get a chance to finish when I switched phones is that. What I see going on here in general is that we're all frustrated by the lack of information. And in this lack of information, a lot of theories have sprung up, some of which can be quickly disproven, but others which really can't be disproven because the evidence doesn't exist. And those theories tend to be more persistent. Like, I don't think anybody is seriously
offering a theory here.
And I don't think for an example, I would say there was 2 days where people were talking about the tunnels. I don't think anybody's talking about that anymore. But, hold on. I have never talked about the tunnels, right? I have never offered any alternative theory to the government. That is why my spaces are different. All I do is highlight either information that doesn't jive with the narrative or information that refutes the narrative. I didn't say it was you, Diligent. I said it was people. And if you want me to be specific, it was Candace Owens, all right? She was talking about the tunnels. It wasn't you. So,
Brick, how about when
there's a lot of stuff out there? People are throwing a lot of stuff out there, and I just don't. I think some of it is needlessly complicated, and I don't believe that it's relevant to the case. And people will say, "But how do you know it's not relevant unless you investigate it?" But you can't investigate everything. It's not useful.
You don't think it's a big deal when people in the inner circle are caught with lying to the public on a really high-profile murder case? Like, take, for example, how they said that there weren't drones, how they were kind of struggling with the school for operational control, and then they released drone footage. You don't think that's a red flag, among others?
Who was the drone footage from?
TPUSA.
TPUSA released drone footage from UVU?
I'm not sure what he's talking about. I thought they had one of their drones in the sky, and they were scheduled to, and then they weren't, and then they did, and then they weren't. Like, it was really muddled. Tyler Boyer.
If you listen to Frank Turek talk to Megyn Kelly, Frank Turek talks about the fact that Charlie was watching drone footage before he arrived.
And I did hear that, but did he say he was watching TPUSA drone footage?
Yes, I just posted in the Purple Pill how to dig it. It's the first one there. You'll see Tyler Boyer posted their own production.
And also, to kind of push back a little bit on the idea of you can't go down, you can't gather all the anomalies, evidence,
that's a wide net. Why
and then you start peeling it off where this can't be right, this can't be right, and you start peeling it all back like an onion. But you definitely pick up every possibility, without going into all kinds.
Damn, it glitched out again. They don't want y'all hearing this shit. 2345. 22345. 22345.
To a third-party intermediary.
Trial. I mean, you would think that
start peeling it off,
of your
this can't be right, this can't be right, and you start peeling it all back like an onion. But you definitely pick up every possibility, without going into all kinds of wild conjecture.
Right.
But
I mean, you would think that you can't say they can't investigate everything. They can't look everywhere, but we're going to classify it so nobody else can look there either. How does that sound like a fair trial?
Well, it sounds fair because you're not releasing evidence that could compromise the case against the defendant.
That part's true. Or exonerate him.
They're forbidden from withholding exculpatory evidence, and they would be all kicked out of their jobs and prosecuted if that were found out during discovery phase.
They could find that, though, if it wasn't investigated, and they just said, we can't investigate everything, so we're just going to put this in a drawer, and I don't have to turn it over now because we didn't find anything because we didn't investigate it.
But none of us have jurisdiction on this. None of us are able to investigate it. So what are we complaining about?
Well, right. But
shit, I'm investigating it.
But we are doing the open source investigation. They're behind the firewall. They have a lot of restrictions upon them in terms of what they do not want to do or can't do in order to poison whatever direction they're going in. I think, but this is my conjecture, is that you're going to see some pretty interesting surprises coming up here. But if DNI and our overarching foreign intelligence comes up with proofs and so forth, then the whole thing is going to cook.
The one thing that makes me really extremely skeptical about foreign nations being involved is this. All right. Obviously documented, there are some countries out there who may not have been happy with the direction Charlie was traveling in. Okay. So stipulated. Not going to argue that that's not the case. Then think about what is the worst case scenario should nothing happen to Charlie and those visions continue to evolve. The worst case scenario, if that happens, is nowhere near as bad as the worst case scenario if one of those countries tries to take him out and gets caught. In that estimate, I just don't see the return on. I just don't see how they would have that. Even if they're not
unless it was sanctioned.
Sanctioned by who?
Well, who would sanction a hit on domestic soil? Who would be the one to do that? Who could green light a hit on domestic soil?
If you're saying that, wait a minute, I thought we were not doing this type of supposition without evidence.
Well, it's the suppositional conversation. You were the one offering the supposition. I'm just interjecting.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You just said that they wouldn't want to risk. You're supposing that if Israel or another foreign country thought it was in their best interest to take out Charlie Kirk, that they wouldn't want to risk it doing it on our soil. And that's a supposition. So I added to it, unless it was sanctioned. Then they wouldn't have to worry about any backlash because it's sanctioned.
All right, so there we have a completely unfalsifiable premise that people are going to argue that I'm just going to throw out an agency there, which I don't think they did it. So, but for purpose of the argument along this lines, the CIA sanctioned the hit on Charlie Kirk in American soil. Well, you can never disprove that. You can never disprove it. So there's no point in talking about it because it can't be disproven.
In the same way that I can't disprove or prove whether or not a foreign entity would try to take out Charlie Kirk. Like all of this in that regard.
That one would be a little bit easier to prove because you'd at least have intelligence sources that you could access in terms of like communication. You'd have to have some sort of material tie there, which you would maybe not have if it was all domestic communication.
I mean, the same could be said about the CIA then, right? Like you would still have either way to prove either you would need some kind of irrefutable communication or evidence, and we have neither for both. So it's entirely speculative premise anyways, right? That's why but anyways,
Right.
my point. My point is, though, it goes back to motive, though. It goes back to motive, though, right? They're like again,
because you need opportunity also. You need opportunity in addition to motive.
Well,
you need a way to do it.
Obviously, there was opportunity, and because it happened, that's opportunity. So let's look at motive. Opportunity occurred.
I'm not going to talk about that. I came in to talk about the plane. If you want to talk now about
can we go back to the bullet then? Do you really think it was a 30-06 because you had to switch phones and so we didn't get your full answer on that? So can we go back to that part?
Okay. So in the all the possibilities of bullets that can be fired out of that rifle that they're saying is that they've shown us the pictures of and said is the weapon that was used. They haven't verified that it was a factory load. It could have been a bullet that was hand loaded with a reduced amount of powder, or a cartridge, I should say, not a bullet. It could have been a cartridge that was reloaded with a non-standard amount of powder, or a different than normal bullet. So not knowing the composition of the cartridge, i.e. the round that was fired, I can't specify whether or not I think it is or not. So the chances of it, I could say that in general, if it's a factory loaded 30-06 round, that the ballistics that I as a layman observed would be less likely to occur than if it was a underpowered hand-loaded round. And that's all I can say, but it's still a non-zero chance, even if it's a factory round.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little bit. Okay, so let's say that it had a lower load, all right, and it was just what you said. Then you're telling me that then a 22-year-old kid from 140 to 180 yards out, okay, covered windage, and he would have to aim high because that round is going to start dropping. Okay, and he'd have to be a frickin' crack shot in order to make that from there. Okay, and if that were to be the case, and odds are it's not in terms of.
Would you say that it's unlikely he aimed at Charlie's neck? Just on. Would you say
I mean, typically any professional or anybody that's an expert, let's not say professional, let's say expert. Okay, typically they would aim center mass from that distance. And where the round goes,
aiming for the head and it dropped to the neck. That could be. That's a good point.
Yeah, but that's a long range to even just try to make a headshot from. Okay, and so and then you're also got to factor in that he's a 22-year-old kid. Yes, he's got some weapons experience and whatnot, but that's
so just getting back. Now we're into like shooting dynamics, and I was just trying to answer the question about the bullet, and like they're saying there's. And all I'm trying to get out there is that, like, there's still a lot of variables on the bullet. It's not like the FBI said this was a factory round and this is the exact model of bullet, and then everybody would know the load and everything like that.
So the guy that has no history of firearms, right?
No, he does.
Firearms.
He does have a history of firearms. He does have a history of.
His grandma came out and said that he never touched a gun in his life.
I don't know. I didn't hear that, but. My understanding or what I had seen, but I did not hear that or see that he never touched it. Another anomaly, I'm throwing a curveball here, but another anomaly is this Grandpa's Mauser. Okay. And then the picture is a synthetic stock. And that wasn't produced until the 1990s. Okay. So that's part of it. But
it was a Springfield 700. It wasn't
if it was a low load, if it was a low load and everything of the 30-06,
but still supersonic.
It would require you to aim pretty high, and that bullet's going to drop, and you'd have to really know what you're doing to hit that target. Either that, or it was just a sheer lucky shot. And the next thing is that if you look at any of the ballistics and anything else, and you see like the ballistics gel and how the cavity, it's called cavitation, would occur, which is what would explain the expansion of the chest and the back.
Okay. That I'm telling you, I'm just telling you that a 30-06 will blow the crap out of something. I mean, I've seen it take a freaking elk's neck off practically, and the exit wound is like the size of a freaking softball or bigger.
Yeah.
And
still to this day,
human neck or collarbone is going to refract that, and then it goes supposedly went into the C3, C4 vertebrae and went down to the L1. Okay, and what we don't have is that fragment or that bullet or that part of the ballistics of the actual bullet itself, and we've never really been told through any autopsy that the bullet was fully intact, mushroomed, or it was a particle or a part of it. So it's probably possible. But
are you suggesting
that?
Are you suggesting that Andrew Colvett lied when he relayed the doctor's ballistics report?
No, what did he say? What did he say exactly?
He said he was Iron Man or Superman or something, right? He said that his skin had stopped it. The bullet magically stopped and saved the lives of the individuals behind him by encasing the bullet with his spine bone or something. It was some bullshit.
What Andrew talked about it was it hitting multiple vertebrae and traveling in that direction. That's pretty consistent. And then you also have to look at this.
The bullet hit him in the neck, and then it went a 45-degree angle down, and then rested in the L1 vertebrae. Impossible.
Neither of us have seen any medical examiner's report or the ballistics report. Okay.
Have you seen a vertebrae before?
Brick, will you fly down here to Texas and let's go out on the ranch and I'm going to show you some shit? Because I'm telling you right now,
consider this.
There ain't no way. Seen a vertebrae before, because if you think about it, a vertebrae is very.
I'm gonna read this. I want to read it for the class. This is Andrew Colvett, TPUSA. You sat next to him on the show. Oh, we lost you, Brick. I wasn't muting you, but okay. All right. So Andrew Colvett. I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. Why is this guy controlling the narrative? It's so weird, right? It's when we discuss it, it's a problem, and then when his heir to the show discusses it, it's scripture. Interesting.
He's a hero.
All right, so quote. He's a hero. Quote, I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize. This is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I just want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon. How convenient. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. Seems like if there was a miracle, he'd be alive. He said the bullet, quote, absolutely should have gone through, which is very, very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc., end quote. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned this to the doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone didn't get killed, end quote. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have gone through and through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. I don't know if he meant to rhyme there, but he did. In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those who were around him. Remarkable, miraculous, Superman. End quote.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That sounded so authentic and real.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
You couldn't hear the contempt about that. Did my contempt come through? I didn't mean for it to. I was trying to be objective. That was my delivery.
No, it was perfect delivery. It was well read.
Case closed. Let's go home. Nothing to see.
We don't need a ballistics report. We don't need the ME report. We got it. We know exactly what happened now, you guys.
Well, if Brick had his way, we would be North Korea and just listen to everything the state media had to say.
Well, Brick's not up here, so let's not talk about him since he left. I don't want to talk about him.
Oh, sorry.
You're okay.
I was going to tell him that I still love him and I'm still a fan, but yep.
And the sad part is there's precedence for this, right? In the past 50, 60 years, we've had a number of political leaders assassinated. And then we hear stories, reports, files being released 50 years later. So yeah, we do have questions and we don't believe the narrative because there are lots of holes in it. And the government has a fiduciary duty to be transparent and to inform the public. Patel sold us that he's going to be this transparent guy and the previous administration wasn't transparent. And yet now we're getting zilch. All these holes are there and these questions, nothing. I do want to go back on motive because many people know this, but I'm just going to focus on one. There's plenty, but I'm just going to focus on one. Now, Charlie Kirk. Oh, great. Another genius in here calling everybody racist. Here, let me go ahead and tell you, we don't give a crap about your hurdy words. Racist, anti-Semite, homophobe, Islamophobe, whatever, all that shit, we don't care. Has been given credit for single-handedly stopping Trump or limiting the military intervention of the U.S. in Iran to the point where he actually went to quarrel with President Trump. And this is something now. So take that into consideration.
Is that documented?
Yep. I'll share it with you. There's numerous reports where he got into quarrel with Trump over this. And for Trump, keep in mind, somebody like Charlie Kirk is key for the midterms, right? Because there's no way that Trump can win unless he's got the youth vote, the Republican youth vote, for the Republican Party for Congress, I mean. So now, all of a sudden, he's now against, and he's gone on the record to say that the U.S. should have nothing to do with Iran or we should not intervene militarily at all. Now, that being said, Israel's wet dream is regime change in Iran to the point where they actually went to war with them for 9 days. Now, if you have a hurdle like Charlie Kirk, who was preventing, the U.S. and I see your post, Dolan. Military involvement, and there's still plans to pursue another military involvement by the Israelis on Iran, then wouldn't. We literally just talked about the 30-06 thing. It's so retarded to believe that a 30-06 killed him. That, I mean, there's been so many people on YouTube do ballistics on it that it is literally impossible. He just read the dude's statement talking about how his neck was made of steel. He was Superman. It was a miracle that it didn't go through. It would be hard to have somebody like Charlie Kirk around who's going to potentially persuade the U.S. president or the U.S. to not get involved. I mean, that's a big motive if you really consider it. It needs to be explored. It needs to be investigated, and I don't think it has. And that's why I think the DNI has every right to investigate every loophole that there is, or every motive there is. I'll end there.
No, I concur. I think every motive, especially with it in the 48 hours, you know what I mean? And to find out that they've been arguing about it for months, you're not even going to explore it? You're not even going to explore it? Like, really? That makes you... this whole thing just stinks to high hell. It stinks to high hell. We don't know what really happened, right? Like, we don't know that, Israel killed him. We don't know that our government is covering it up. We don't know these things conclusively, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that does not look good, right? And then there's also a lack of solid evidence that's been presented to us. Now, let me just say this. I am perfectly fine with being open to the possibility, right? I am perfectly open to the possibility that Tyler Robinson committed this murder, right? I'm open to that notion. If it comes out in trial, there is plenty of actual compelling evidence, right? Compelling, not a bad resolution, like where you can't see him clearly in the video, right? Like any of them, right? If there's never any conclusive evidence other than what can be digitally fabricated.
Yeah, Brick ended up coming around on all the plane stuff. I could think he comes back here in just a minute. But he had dropped out of the space. But yeah, you're right.
You know, I might never believe it, but the American people, we were all traumatized. Like there was some kind of mass trauma event that occurred there psychologically to the American people. Like as a society, that has impacted all of us, or many of us. I can't say all, but it's impacted all of us in some way since it's affected policy. But I mean, just like my kid, you know, she's not political. She doesn't like politics. She doesn't even like talking politics with me. And she watched it she saw it on TikTok. I mean, she's not a kid anymore. She's, she's an adult now, but a teenager. And, she's like, Dad, I couldn't get away from it. It was all over, like nobody could get away from it. A buddy of mine had has a 16 and a 15-year-old son and daughter, and he texted me or he called me, and he's like, my kid couldn't get away from it, So they pretty much made us all watch it, and that has an effect on people, and all kinds of effects. It instills fear, right? It instills doubt, uncertainty. It's called terror. That's terror, right? And then it doesn't make sense to people afterwards. They're left confused. And a lot of this conspiracy theory or this conjecture or the speculation or maybe even just investigation is a result of that confusion. People are trying to make sense of things that don't make sense, and the government hasn't helped with that. It started out with misleading information, incorrect information. It gave details that it didn't need to share it gave details when it shouldn't have, right? And then it didn't give details that it should have, right? And so there's a whole lot of reasons as to why people are feeling the way that they do. But I'll tell you this. For me personally, it's a sign of something very sick. Again, right? Within the same summer, okay? Within the same few months, with Epstein, I saw something very sick, a symptom of a very vile sickness within our government, within our
Dolan is probably a bot.
Country, right? Within the soul of our country. And I'm seeing it again now, right? The symptoms are there, that there is a deep sickness, something very corrupt, a very corrupt element within our government that is at the institutional level, and it bleeds through. And we're seeing that now, right? And that's a problem. That's a major problem. I'm going to shut up now.
Absolutely. And how many times do we have to go through this since the JFK assassination? And that's where the term conspiracy theorist came from. Conspiracy, more than one person.
Well, I had already told you that I could read your thing. You just wasn't listening, I guess, at that moment. But I had already answered that for you, Dolan.
Theories on what would have happened. Anybody who went against the established narrative was considered a tin hat foil wearing conspiracy theorist, and that's where the whole term got invented. And then we have gone through this so many times, from 9/11 to you name it, and it's important we be skeptical. But
I want to kind of bring something up, just what you were saying. Okay, I just received this, and it's an analysis of the FBI roof video, which is proven, edited, and forensically compromised. The single most critical piece of the evidence, the 20-second drone clip purported to show Tyler Robinson fleeing the Lucy Center roof, is not raw. It's curated, post-edited, and omits the shooting moment, erases shadows, and vanishes a pedestrian. And these are not artifacts. They are digital fingerprints of manipulation. There's missing prone position in the 30 to 60-second gap. I could go on and on and on about the forensics of this drone video that was actually reconstituted 3 times. It's in an EXIF format, and it was processed by Adobe Premiere Pro 2025.1, and it's not drone native. And the gunshot should have been audible at 175 yards, yet it was not. It's hard cut. It's not a natural keyframe. And it was re-encoded, or the quantized matrix reset. And just what Diligent was saying is that a lot of the stuff they're putting out is bullshit. And then of course it's going to create skepticism. And of course it's the whole reason why we're here, because these things keep flowing out, and within hours, days, and weeks, they're completely debunked of what these guys are putting out. And how many times for the last 60, 70 years have we looked at the official narrative and found out many years later, it's the only thing is right now, everything's happening at light speed because there's so many people such as yourselves and everything that have access to all of this information and can take this in and then analyze it. So, I mean,
Jerry,
yeah.
What's the common denominator with all these things? And Diligent touched on it earlier. They rush to try to get us to say case closed.
Right.
We use that term, and it was dead on, case closed.
Right.
You know, they shoot out text messages that
Right.
look manufactured. This manufactured video, this goofy
Right.
story with this 30-06, all of this stuff, and they go, look, we got our guy. This massive manhunt, case closed, just like COVID, right?
Yep.
Case closed. We do it this way, case closed. Take the vaccine, case
COVID.
closed. We see how that worked out.
In a record-breaking 33 hours.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Just
then,
like with the Epstein files. Hey, what does Trump say? He gaslights the whole country. Case closed.
exactly.
That's done. That's over with. At some point, the American people start to go, wait a minute. There's a pattern here. And it's the same people giving us the same bullshit. And every single time when we scratch that surface, there's more there.
Right. Right. And how many times do we got to go through this? And COVID, another prima facie example of and then anybody who goes against the established narrative, what's the first thing that they do? You're crazy, you're nuts. There's something wrong with you.
It's worse than that. They came at me hard, bro. It was worse than. Yeah, I mean, it was. They were trying to dox my family, trying to dox me, all kinds of smears and slanders, and just crazy, dude. I got death threats. It was crazy, just over Epstein. It happened again during Kirk, but yeah, it was wild.
So one of the first things you're going to see is the defense is going to move to suppress the rooftop video in its entirety under Brady versus Maryland, which is an exculpatory raw feed, and Arizona versus Youngblood, which is bad faith destruction of original drone recording.
Exactly.
And the state cannot authenticate the clip that begins after the crime and erases the shadows and deletes the witnesses. This is not surveillance. It's a music video. That's what's fucking coming out.
What happens if the defense doesn't? Like, what, here's the other part of it. Like, I don't.
They control both sides. The defense is fucking state provided.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're going to control how good of a defense this kid gets. And
that's why I'm wondering. It's so weird that this defense, what do you, I lost my brain.
Public defender. His team?
The public defender. Right. The public defender is taking the lead on this thing, and they've got 2 brilliant. I mean, you might as well have F. Lee Bailey back there. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of weird to me. And maybe things will change over that period of time, or things will come around that's a little different. But
I was in a space, I think it was with
this is going to get really weird. And what are they going to do if this guy walks? If this turns into an O.J. Simpson, or the other possibility is that there's a lot more coming that we don't know, and we've got good. The white hats are moving their chess pieces in position, because you can't just come right out and go, ha ha, we got them. It was Israel or Egypt in a connection of their, or this, that, and the other thing, and it's foreign intelligence involved in all this. I mean, they're not going to just come right out with that. You know what I mean? In other words,
You would have to believe
it's
that
going to
there's
be a
such a thing
slow
as
roll,
white hats still, and I'm not really sure that there are white hats anymore.
I don't know. Well, there's, are they white hats? Are they compromised? Do they have something on them? We know how dirty.
It wasn't just the old Jew dude that said that, right? They had multiple patsies, bro. They had the other guy with a gun. They had that came out. I think it was a BB gun or something. And then they had some house came out with a pistol on the ground over there by that side wall or whatever. I don't know if you've seen that.
Pretty dirty, this whole frickin' thing is, all the way to the top. And and so, like, I think in a way, I mean, I look at two sides of things, but like you brought up the Epstein thing and Trump, and then what did Trump do? I mean, he does play some pretty good 3D chess. Okay, and what if it is a situation where now he's got the entire left screaming for the Epstein files, and over time,
because the Republicans literally blocked the subpoena to the banks.
Mm-hmm.
So
did Dick Durbin, and
the Democrats all voted in committee to release the files or to subpoena the banks, and every Republican said no, and every Democrat said yes. So they easily could, if Trump was playing chess, they could have subpoenaed the banks, because we all know we need to follow the money.
Right.
But the banks are being protected.
The DOJ has the authority to subpoena the banks. You don't need to wait for Congress to do it. The Congress is nothing but a whole. It's Hollywood. It's all acting. The DOJ has the authority to subpoena the banks. They have the probable cause, right? There's enough publicly available information to.
Who do you think runs the banks? Lawyers. Lawyers aren't going to attack lawyers. No way.
Who runs the banks?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go to Stryker. Go ahead, Stryker.
Oh man, yeah, you were just on the right. I actually work in asset management. That's kind of funny.
I want to reel it back into Kirk, though.
Yeah, right on. So, did anyone else find out it's kind of weird? Like a day or two after Ben Shapiro tweeted about he'll pick up the mic from Charlie Kirk, and then now he just so happens to be on tour with TPUSA. It seems a little weird.
I think it's completely odd, because Charlie said himself that he had no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Yep. If it was truly going in the direction that Charlie wanted, they would be leaving the pro-Israel cause. And that causes even more suspicion for me, because they are reverting back in the opposite direction of what Charlie wanted it to go.
There's been no pivot. Same for Mike McCoy's dad, who said there was no pivot. Then he was caught in that lie before the text messages came out. It should be a bigger deal that insiders get caught in a lie. And Diligent made a previous point about public information. There's just something really odd about the introduction and interjection of supposedly when Erica Kirk met Charlie, because why would she need a job interview if her family was business partners with TP Action since 2019, 2 years before they married? It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't need a job, right? You don't need to be someone's assistant when you own Superfeed.
Hey, Diligent, that report that I was referring to was actually published by the Gray Zone on September 12th. And the source was Charlie Kirk's close friend, who's in the Trump circle orbit as well. It was anonymous because he feared for his life. And
yeah, I remember that.
Yep, and it was subsequently it was picked up by Tucker Carlson. He also reported on it, as well as the BBC and CNN also picked it up. So there's a lot of validity to that report. I can go into the details, but I'll send you the article If you
the same Tucker Carlson who didn't push back on the Charlie Kirk show when they talked about the guy who took the SD cards being Charlie Kirk's loved him like a brother. That same Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
The one that smirked.
Yes. And that's another really weird thing is that, okay, the first thing that happens, and I've been involved in this stuff, okay? And the first thing that happens is that crime scene gets locked down. And to have some guy be able to go over, pull up a chair, stand up on top and pull down critical evidence, that is bizarre to me. I can't even believe that happened. Or was allowed to let happen.
Not only did it happen in the minutes afterwards, it happened 9 minutes afterwards with another camera that was directly facing Charlie in front after a perimeter had been established back like 50 yards, dude. Like it's insane. And
thankfully, he took a selfie video of himself before he did it. As Charlie was shot, he needed to take a selfie and tell everybody that Charlie's dead. I know that you called me on that the other day, Diligent, and I rewatched it again, and he absolutely says it's not somebody walking by. He says Charlie's dead.
Yeah, that dude's definitely fucking involved, bro. I don't give a shit what you say. I mean, if you can't see that guy's fucking involved in this shit, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
He said Charlie's dead himself?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Right on video. And he took a selfie of himself right after the shot. It was the weirdest thing. And I'll just kind of give you a little bit of my, experience and so forth. I don't like to talk about authenticity or anything like that, but there was a stabbing at an NCO club. All of my investigative experience comes from when I was in the military, in the Army. So then a guy gets stabbed in an NCO club, and they were having like a big club party, okay? And a guy got stabbed in there. That place was so flipping locked down, and there were hundreds of MPs surrounding that place, and there was no stone uncovered, and that was just a I don't want to say a simple stabbing, but it was a stabbing. Nobody even died, okay? But somebody was trying to get into some woman's purse, and another guy stabbed him, and that place was so flipping locked down that nobody was touching anything in that place. And every person coming out of that place after it was shut down was looked at, frisked, taken care of, everything. And there were hundreds of MPs that showed up that surrounded the whole place. And that was the weirdest thing to me about this incident, was that you have these guys walking around, and then you got somebody that supposedly found a gun over here, and there were lots of civilians and other people walking around. It was just the weirdest, chaotic, not in control event I ever saw. The next thing is not having any, and even though there were EMTs on site, no EMTs became involved in it at all. I didn't see, if anybody's been around any mass trauma or anything like that.
There's a medical center here.
Blood flipping everywhere.
There's a medical center here at the university. Did you know that? I didn't know that until today when I was walking around. There's a medical center here at the university, right? How is there no medical staff here at all during that event? That is mind-blowing to me.
The local stock car races have 2 ambulances ready to go on standby with EMTs and paramedics ready to go.
Yeah, that's standard practice. That's usually an insurance requirement.
Yeah, usually you have an ambulance on scene for big events like that because people are going to get heat stroke or pass out or who knows, right? Somebody could have a heart attack. So
as a matter of fact,
an SUV is weird too.
As a matter of fact, when you guys just reminded me. So I went back and I watched a lot of Charlie's old footage from this year at different universities. The university he was doing prior to this, which you remember when someone said, oh, well, this is the first time he's ever done an over the back of the head video like that. It wasn't. The very last previous one that he did before that, they did a behind the head camera. They actually show footage from that view, right? So I know what it looks like. But besides that, there was somebody in the audience who had an episode and went down. And Charlie starts talking about it. He's like, I know. There's a medical. We have the medical team is on its way, right? He says. He's like, you might not think so, but actually drawing more attention to it can make these things worse. So we're just going to ignore it and keep going on because it makes it easier for them to get in there and deal with it if everybody's not drawing attention to it and making it more of a bigger deal. So he actually addresses somebody who had a medical emergency during his last event, and there was medical staff on the way to go help those people. It's very interesting. So it's crazy to me that there was no medical staff there at all.
So obviously Turning Point has had how many events? I mean, they're having one almost, weekly, every couple weeks, monthly. You know, this is one thing that they would 100% understand is what that scene looks like, how to prepare it, how to secure it, how to make sure those people are safe. In the event that somebody has a medical issue. So this is not, obviously, like you're pointing out, their first rodeo with that. And now, all of a sudden, but they couldn't have controlled the environment. They couldn't have controlled the scene. By they, I don't necessarily mean Turning Point, even though they're the one that was running the show. So that is a little bit incriminating, I guess, on their part. But they couldn't have controlled the EMTs, what those people's, their accounts would have been, what they would have seen, what they would have saw, all of those things. Their people were the ones that picked him up and dragged him off to wherever, to be seen by wherever, to tell us whatever. And it's like, when you look at that level of control, and then they take the cameras, they take the SD cards, they take all of that information in reality, if some guy really shot from 142 yards away, you're going to want every bit of information, everybody's phone, everybody's everything. You're going to want all that information to be shared, and it's been suppressed. They've tried to control the scene like they didn't want the information to get out. Like what actually happened there is the problem. And that's, everyone sees that, whether you can quantify, whether you can put it into words or not, you know it. You feel like it's something that you can feel. And the people that want to go to Trump and go, hey, look, I don't want to believe that Turning Point was involved because Turning Point helped Trump get elected. I don't want to believe that Israel's involved because Israel and the United States, and we're allies and we fight the big bad Muslims together. So they don't want to see where that points. So whether it's our government, our FBI, whether it's Israel, or whether it's Turning Point or some combination of them, or Eric or Kirk or whatever, it all points to somewhere that's really, really ugly. And even though those people will say, you don't have the proof, right? You don't have the smoking gun. And we're probably never going to truly get that, because none of those entities are going to turn on the other. They're all going to have each other's back, and they're going to keep spitting this narrative at us until they put this kid away for life and put him to death and tell us he's guilty. And then those same people will go, well, it was proven in a court of law. Bing, bang, boom.
Yes. And let me also point out that none of these organizations, whether it be TPUSA, whether you look at agencies like CIA, FBI, any of these agencies or anything out there, they're not monolithic organizations. They're organizations as wide of a breadth as society itself, and there are pockets and enclaves all within them. So when you can't say, oh, it was this group or that group, or it was this group or that group, that's kind of not right. It can be little chunks within those groups that are performing the nefarious acts, or the ones that are back to the white hats, black hats. I really liked what that lady, and I'm sorry I don't know your name, but the lady that was kind of pushing back a little bit on what I said, but I love exactly what she said with regards to how she explained that we just don't know what we don't know, I guess. I guess that was her point, that pushed back a little bit on what I said, and she's right. So.
Thanks. I thought it was interesting about watching all of these recent TPUSA events. Have y'all noticed that the speakers that are getting questioned, none of them are doing what Charlie did? Like, it's not Democrats in the audience. They're not talking about trans. They're not talking about, policy or anything. They're literally young MAGA kids coming up and questioning what the hell is going on. And it's so different than what Charlie was handling. Like Charlie was literally arguing with Democrats all day, every day. And that is not the case anymore. It is this younger generation that has a lot of questions and they're not really falling for it. And they've got these big heavy hitters in there to try to convince these kids to, of what the narrative is and why it's this way, and try to make these impressions on them because, oh, the vice president is there and he said this. And, it's really bizarre how there's not any Democrats anymore that are actually there. It's literally all Republicans. It's really wild to me. Go ahead, Ken. No, your microphone is not working. Sorry. You might have to drop down and fix that and then request again.
Hey, Noxie,
we hear you now.
While we're waiting for him, to get on.
Hold on. Hold on, Jerry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay.
No, I dropped him because it's
was it still bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
I wanted to bring up Noxie, and now I know your name, and I actually followed you and stuff. So, no. But what you said is exactly right, and the telltale sign for me was, you remember the kid who was being interviewed, and then the gangsters came along, all in the red shirts, and pulled him away and wouldn't allow him to speak to the camera right after the event. That was a telltale sign to me of exactly what you were pointing out.
So the guy sorry.
Real quick, I just want to thank you guys all for coming to the space today and for supporting me. Earlier when Anthony said something about sending me tips, I got a shit ton. So thank you. This is going to help pay for the hotel bill here. And I just want to say, I really appreciate the support with getting the content out. Whenever I'm on the ground, sharing out the on the ground stuff, it's not conjecture or filtered by mainstream. I'm also my pin post. If you guys have any leads for me, if you have anything that you want me to check out, if you have a location you want me to go to, if you have somebody you want me to talk to, I don't care who it is. If you want me to go ask the university president a question, you want me to ask the police chief a question, whoever I can try to go talk to, whoever you can think of, I don't care who it is. Okay, leave it in that pin post reply section. I'm going to go through those after the space tonight and take notes. And then tomorrow I'm going to travel around this city a little bit, go check out the hospitals, one where Charlie was taken to. I want to go to the one that George Zinn was taken to. I'm going to go check out where the jail is. I'm going to kind of look around, scope out town tomorrow. And then Saturday, and I have if you make sure you guys are all following Noxie. She's an amazing co-host. All of our speakers up here have been amazing. Make sure you guys are all following Noxie and our speakers. And if you want to support what I'm doing, the best way is by subscribing. There's a pink button on my profile. There's a link up in the...
All right, he just goes into a little diatribe and closes out the space from here. We've been streaming for, holy crap, 3.5 hours now. Yeah, this is probably gonna hurt my my algorithm, but anyway, I just found that to be an interesting ass conversation. I caught the tail end of it last night, and so I wanted to stream it today. But he's having another space. I'll go find us another space to that's good, and that'll be my next stream. I'll go look around. Y'all have a good day. I appreciate y'all coming in.